No need, no need. Woo! Oh yeah. Boom. Hello, I'm new. Stop yelling. That is comfort that thrive and survive this place when you ask if responsible trolling is okay is palpable. Also, bro. And like bro statics, bruh. Witsit has the actual hashtags. But does he have the paperwork? Here, lemon, lemon, and Gary Guari. Lemon bird, lemon bird, lemon bird. Brian and the Brainless. Really, man? Come on, bro. Think. Five minutes, the nerd on Summit. One day closer to death. Boom, chakalaka. NASA has officially told me that brain water equals Brian leaking. And the worms ate into his brain. Something's wrong with me. I want to see happy face from C4. C4. A little bit of happy. It's La La Land time.
Are we resorting to comedy hour now? Obviously.
Gravity, La La Land is reserved for special people that double speak, that say open is closed, closed is open.
La La Land, we are in La La Land.
Gravity,
Obviously. La La Land, La La Land, La La Land, we are in La La Land.
gravity, gravity.
Obviously.
Are you ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom!
Boom! Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from Florida to the YouTube universe. Jose JG Boom. I am here in the house. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here in these festivities. Leave your worries out, leave your sadness away, have a little bit of fun, and entertain your mind with something that is necessary. A little bit of entertainment and laughter. We all need that. It's all good. Shout out to everybody for being here. Fred Bailey, Farmer's Boy, Doofus Manfred, Real Cygnus, Jim's Mind, Justin Franks, Ben the Light, Leo, C4, Bobby Alaskan Explorer, KMC, Joe Mongus, and Leo with a big $10 super chat. Leo, this is for you, man. $10 super. There you go. Thank you very much, Leo. NASA has officially told me that it should be officially announced on your show that there is land beyond the ice wall. And that the snowman has a free ticket to see them. That is breaking news. That is a breakthrough. NASA should be officially announcing that there is land beyond the ice wall. Then the waterman has a free ticket to see them land. That's a good stuff, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate the news. Rocking the hat today. Rocking the Puerto Rican hat. It's strange. It looks like a Happy New Year hat, but it's actually a bunch of little Puerto Rican flags. It's okay. So I cannot use my headphones because of the hat, the flaps. So I got my cheap Bluetooth thing to listen, not to talk. To talk is the mic. We will be in the Discord server Daily Boom. The text chat is the Daily Boom Uncensored, and the voice chat will be YouTube Live. If you would like to join, please jump in. Find the link in the description box. Also, if you would like to support the channel, there's a PayPal link pinned above in the YouTube chat box. Feel free to support the channel by doing so. You also can find the link in the description box. There is also another way, is via Super Chat, like Leo just did, or become a member. Super Chat will be live in real time. Your questions, comments, concerns, or trolling responsible comments will be addressed and entertained 100% of the time. Because you're giving me money to do so, so we must dedicate time to them. Thank you, Leo. You look like going to a Puerto Rico political rally, Jose. Say that. Yeah, and I got the force with me. The Delta Force. What is the strongest force on Earth? Of course, the Delta Force, man. What the hell? After you open your wallet and your credit cards and give me money, then you can go ahead and hit the like. I gave a shout out to more than 8 people right now today. I read more than 8 names. I really did. I read 15 or 20 names. Top of the show. Why don't we have that amount of likes of the people that I gave a shout out? And if you came in late and you're listening to this late recorded, then don't forget to leave us a like. We're gonna open the YouTube Live. Please join us. Bring your arguments, present them to us, and let's see what we can get. All right. The Daily Boom YouTube Live is open for business. And Carl Christopherson is in the house. Are you there, Carl?
I'm here. I'm listening.
Very good. Very good to hear you. How is it going over there in that side of the world you are?
And the north side, and it's pretty dark but good.
Very good. Dark for like getting to nighttime, or is it already night?
Yeah, getting late evening time here. 8:45.
Very good. Very good. Farmer's Boy is a little bit earlier than that, right? Farmers, what's up?
Yes, it's where are we? We're 7:45 in the evening, and sunset was about an hour and a half ago.
Huh.
It's pitch black out there, but I can
All right.
still see Jupiter.
Jupiter and Mars. Oh no, that's.
I don't know about Mars, but I can see Jupiter.
Is it the only planet that can be seen at day-ish time?
Well, it's not day. Not for me.
Well, how about dawn?
That's
and
why I can
dusk?
see it because
Yeah.
it's nighttime.
How about dawn and dusk or actual daytime? Which one can one see?
Dawn and dusk is when you usually see Venus.
I have another super chat by Leo for $5 more. Thank you, Leo. I appreciate the $5. Please, everyone, Jose likes having his PP touched. So, everyone, touch Jose's PP. PP is an acronym for PayPal. So, everybody, touch my PP. I'll take it. Love to give.
Oh yeah. Humongous. 8 track.
Louis
I'm
is
not
in
that
the
bloody
house.
old. Oh, here he is.
Hi, Jose.
Hi, Louis. What's up?
Uh,
How early in the day is for you?
20:48. Like
20.
almost,
I don't know.
yes, almost 9 p.m.
Yeah,
I
he's
am
an hour ahead of me.
military time illiterate. I'm military time illiterate, bro.
You don't do the 24-hour clock then?
I don't like it.
+1.
That's time. Yeah, and time zone illiterate, like for real. I don't understand none of that shit.
I don't know who it
I
was.
struggle when I gotta set up. Like if I gotta manually change the time on a device or a computer, and I gotta choose the time zones. There's a list of like 20. I have no fucking idea which one to choose. I just start clicking and making sure that that's the time in another device that I got here, and I just click a random one until I find it.
So you don't know what time zone you're in?
No, I'm in a Florida
I
time
do.
zone.
Yes, that's Eastern.
Ah,
As opposed
Like
to
it.
Central or whatever the West one's called.
you an expert on time zones, Shaik?
No.
So you don't know what time zone you're in.
Oh, I know where I'm in.
Then you're an
England is
expert.
easy.
'Cause you know.
England is easy. No, because I need to look it once and I know where I am now.
Okay.
I'm currently.
You know what time zone I'm in?
You're probably EDT.
I have no fucking clue. Don't ask me. Tell me. Teach me, master.
You're in Eastern Daylight Time.
EDT.
Yes, EDT, Eastern Daylight Time.
Okay, let me click on my clock.
Till the end of the month, I think.
I don't even know what day it is.
No, I don't know. Thank you for that,
Uh,
Fred. Thank you.
Fred, it can be any day you like, but for the rest of us, well, for most of us, it's still Friday.
Fred, just look at the title of the video on YouTube. That will give you a clue.
I can't find it.
What was
The title
What
of
was yesterday?
the title of the show
It was
today,
the day
Friday
before.
Festivities. Round and round we go.
Yeah, Friday festivities.
What's today? It's Friday,
So
right?
nothing to do with fish.
Just saying.
But what do we fry?
Fish.
Fish.
Did I type or something? I don't know. I'm confused. Oh, fish. Yeah, I got fish in the freezer. That might be cooking that today. Fry fish because it's Friday. Thank you.
In matcha.
Actually, it should be called.
mushy
It should be
peas
called.
and
It should
chips.
be called Frig Day. Oh, not mushy peas. No, curry sauce.
Oh no,
Frig
that's southern.
Yeah.
Can't have
Well,
mushy peas.
Well, I'm not a
Got to have
northern
mushy
monkey,
pe-
am I? No.
We
Oh,
did. But we invented it.
what? Mushy peas?
Yeah.
You invented it.
Yeah.
Is that what they use? Is that what they use in the Exorcist movie when the little girl Linda Blair?
Quite
Yeah,
probably.
pretty much it was mushy peas. Yeah.
Okay. I've been wondering all my life. Like,
Peas.
yeah, this looks like mush peas.
Peas pudding.
That's something else.
That's a delicacy.
But digested, like swallow it and then like actually regurgitate it back, or you just gotta keep it kept in the mouth in order to spit it back out for movies.
I don't know.
I think it'd be more fun or more disgusting if you actually like puke it like from your gut. That'd be a real shock.
Oh, and in The Exorcist, it wasn't mushy peas. It was pea soup.
Pea soup?
Yep.
Thick
So
pea soup.
With ham.
yeah. So when you see her spewing up, she's spitting out pea soup.
What?
Mm.
Well, what's the
Yum, yum.
difference between mushy peas and pea soup?
Mushy peas is, I would say,
the
thicker
the
and
viscos-
stodgier. Yes.
The
Whereas
viscosity.
soup is soup.
Okay, I just want to show people what we're talking about. Guess they missed it. It's one of the scenes, you know. There's
Yep.
another scene, but this
That's
scene
it.
is
That is pea soup.
what? That's crazy. All right. Not for the faint of heart. This scene I'm about to see.
And apparently the look of shock on his face isn't him acting. It
Yeah.
wasn't supposed to hit him in the face. It was supposed to hit him in the chest.
Of course.
Yeah, and this was their first take, and they used it because of the look at his face. But he'd been told, look, don't worry, it's going to hit you in the chest, and it was designed to hit him in the chest, but it hit him in the face, and that's why you see him sort of go, because he wasn't expecting that.
This reminds me
So
of that party.
So they went with
It reminds me of that party in 1996 in Piñones, Puerto Rico, where that one girl and I was. Oh, I'm sorry, it's wrong show, wrong time for that story.
Yeah, that might be now might not be the best time to recount that one. Yeah.
I've got a very similar story.
I'm sure.
Oh man.
I once caught it in my hands. I thought, what the flipping heck did I do that for?
But did somebody say hams over here? Where's the ham there? I see peas.
We always have ham and pea.
Yes.
I
Ham chunks in pea soup.
Yes, ham
I
and pea
haven't.
soup. Yeah, it's not very nice.
It is.
That's not.
Is that like a local thing?
It could well be,
I don't
yes.
think so.
Yeah. Or maybe
don't
it's a
think so.
British thing. I'm not sure.
I think it's British more than local then.
Yeah.
I always say that Farmers is old, just to be sarcastic, but he always ends up talking about Judas Priest drinking tea and mushy peas.
You will
That
not hear
reminds-
me talking about Judas Priest because they're not one of my favourite bands. Why would I talk? That's like me talking about the Beatles. You're not going to hear it.
I went to the cavern once.
Yeah.
Going down down the stairs. They were playing Gary Glitter.
Oh.
I was not impressed.
Oh dear. Oh, Gary Glitter. Let's not go there, hey.
I lost some people. I was around the Liverpool,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
were meant to be going in the cavern. And they buggered off, and they came back on the train.
The hell's this one?
Fred, are you new?
I'm newish. I'm still largely unused.
All right. Are you young? Fred?
I think I'm probably the oldest. I'm officially retired.
You sound old.
Well, I'm not that old. You know, I'm still. if there's any girls, I'm 23.
Girls
Well,
or
happy-
mothers?
Hey,
I know my family, my uncle in Puerto Rico don't watch this, but happy birthday to my uncle in Puerto Rico, the oldest one, hanging in there. 83 years old today. Happy birthday to him.
Wow. Shout out to Jose's uncle.
He's the short one,
Yeah,
you know, my
youngster.
short uncle. He's like 4'5" or 4'6" or whatever. And because I got a very short, less than 5 foot uncle, that's why I'm 6 foot tall to make it up. Well, hello, Dawn to Dusk Instacart Shopper. What the hell name? Igor, what's up? Charlie Bigus. All right, I got some Google News science over here. Let's see what we got. I googled Google News and I went to the science category. Let's see what we got over here today. 1 hour ago. Oh, but let me refresh because this was like 2 hours ago when I opened this.
They're still
Okay,
on
2
the-
hours ago. Astronauts returning home from the International Space Station. What do we know about that?
1 hour,
Yes.
58 seconds, and 3 seconds ago.
Yes,
Approximately.
they're still on their way home. It takes about. I think they said
4
it's
hours
about a 4 or 5 hour process. So I'm not sure exactly when they're due to splash down. I don't think it's for a little while. What we 8 o'clock?
4:55 your time, Josie. 5 to 5
Okay,
your
did-
time.
All right, cool. Did you say Judas?
Priest.
I heard Judas, I promise.
No, he called you Jose.
No, but you before you say, I don't know when the Judas will land or crash or something like that.
No.
Oh, sorry. I'm hearing things. I promise I am.
Yeah, they left. They undocked from the space station several hours ago, and I think this is what they call a fast return home, and it takes about 5 hours.
Okay.
If they were supposed to leave, was it last week or something? But the weather down on the ground wasn't very good, so they sort of delayed for a while.
It's not very fast.
yeah.
It takes me about 20 minutes.
Well, yeah,
Shuts up.
deorbiting and all that, making sure you're safely away from the ISS and anything else, and then getting into the right position and making sure you're in the right orbit before
I'm
you
safely
turn.
away from the ISS. I'm nowhere near the ISS.
No, they were a little bit closer, weren't they?
I don't know.
Well, they're attached to the damn thing. You don't get a lot closer than that.
No, I suppose not.
For everybody listening, everybody
About
can
just being
join
silly.
us on Discord. Everybody listening, you all can join us on Discord.
Yeah.
All right, so astronauts are returning. We got
Yes.
SpaceX, NASA, targeting separate moon launches days apart. Is it SpaceX or NASA? Or
Both.
SpaceX, NASA. Is NASA SpaceX or is SpaceX NASA?
Neither. SpaceX is SpaceX, NASA is NASA. Now, the NASA Artemis mission, I believe they're aiming for something like November the 14th to have another go at launching.
How do you read this? How do you read that headline?
I read that as basically both SpaceX and NASA are
No,
targeting.
but without adding words. How do you read
Okay,
this? Like quote.
SpaceX, NASA targeting separate moon launches days apart. Now, to me, that says that both SpaceX and NASA are planning on launching something to the moon days apart from each other.
What it said on the box.
Yes. That's why there's a comma after SpaceX.
It requires a closer look.
Is it a space comma?
No, it's a comma because there isn't a space.
Disappointing.
Now, NASA and SpaceX customer have announced plans to launch 2 moon missions.
Yeah.
So the
Oh, I
comma
see.
means
It's
and.
yeah.
Right.
It might have made more sense had they replaced the comma with and just said SpaceX
Okay.
and NASA. Yeah, I don't know why people do that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it
so
can
it
get
looks like
can get confusing. Yeah.
yes. So NASA are hoping to launch their Artemis 1 around about November the 14th. I think that was the date. And within a few days of that, either way, SpaceX, from the looks of it, are launching a Japanese lander to the moon. So SpaceX are just the delivery company. They're just getting it up there, and it's a JAXA project.
I completely forget that the Japanese had a space program.
Did you guys hear that Stingray? How you doing, brother? Did you hear that you can have your ashes spread in space via SpaceX?
Yeah, A, Dad didn't want that, and B, we couldn't afford it. So he may do a spreading his ashes all over his field instead.
How much is that?
I'm not sure. John G told me, but yeah, sounds interesting. See,
That won't be cheap, will it?
Can't be that much. Can you get a low Earth weird satellite for 20 grand or something? I've got
Yeah, that's 20 grand. That's
Starbucks.
not pocket change.
Starbucks box thing, yeah.
Or I have an article here from May of 2022. SpaceX transporter 5 launches with remains of 47 people for space burial. Let me see if there's a rough price over here. Huh. It's got to be
Throw them
a
out
few
to the back
thousand,
of the bus
big
for
$1,000.
£2.50.
Big thousands of dollars. What do you think, Stingray? What kind of a ripoff is this? Would it be a ripoff?
Well, how much is it?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't give specific.
Oh, it'll be
Not in this
expensive then.
article.
Generally, if they don't tell you how much something costs, it's not cheap. Sean G
Yeah,
saying
if you-
$1,500.
Yeah,
That's
the
all right.
saying goes, if you need to
Can't afford
ask,
it.
yeah, you can't afford it.
Yeah.
Well, that saying's really ridiculous, by the way. I can afford $1,500, yet I wouldn't just blindly say, "Oh, I'll buy that," without knowing exactly how much it costs. And $1,500 actually isn't an incredible amount, because you can imagine,
No, it's not.
let's say a relative wants ashes spread from the top of the Empire State Building. A helicopter ride up there is going to cost you more than that.
Think bigger. 2,500 to 12,500.
Wait a minute, is that 15? It should be per gram, because it should be, because if you get a really fat person that's got a lot of mass,
Whoa.
surely that should cost more.
Is it not weight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody's ashes, once they've been cremated, and obviously it's not just them, it's the coffin as well, but I was quite surprised. That is quite a weight.
Yeah, but then they
Man.
send them up into space in a Starbucks cup in order to reduce weight. It's not going to be a metal urn.
I mean, that must have been a good couple of kilos at least.
£2.50. I'll
surprised
throw
how
them out
heavy
of
it
the
was.
bus window.
What the hell?
Yeah, what-
Somebody has been buried on the moon? Gene Shoemaker is the only person to date whose ashes have been buried on the moon. What? When?
Oh,
How?
when did they
Why?
go up?
First time I hear that. The hell? Who's the only human buried in the moon? Eugene Shoemaker. What?
What was it?
I don't know now about that shit.
On July 31st, 1999, some of his ashes were carried to the moon by the Lunar Prospector space probe.
All right.
There you go.
Well, we got a bunch of people here. If any of you, I'm just like ranting, and I got this like Google News, space thing, science open. But if anybody have an angle to present, a point, something of conjunction, a presentation, anything, holler at me, and you'll get the floor for a little bit. Just let me know.
How loud do they need to holler?
Yeah,
What if
the
you shoot
interview I saw, the lady said 1,500, but 2,500, that's still close. That's still insanely affordable.
Yeah, $2,500 ain't. Well, I suspect that's what the bill's going to be for Dad's fireworks, but we haven't been given the bill yet.
And I was looking up SpaceX stuff and I came across it. I was like, what the?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I still preferred the fireworks show that we got. I think that was quite impressive.
They put in the fireworks show?
Well, my dad passed away in June, and he wanted his ashes
dear.
spread over his field, and blah blah blah. And he found out you could have ashes put in fireworks.
Nice.
Turns out my cousin works for a professional fireworks company, and she said, "Look, give us his ashes. We'll incorporate them into some of our fireworks." And
Nice.
we've got a marquee set up on the edge of the field, and we'll invite lots of people, have a piss up and a hog roast, and we'll set our fireworks up out in the middle of the field. And when you say go, we'll press the button, and we got a professional firework display. And within 27 of those sort of 2-inch charges that went up were my dad's ashes.
Nice.
It was
That's
really
awesome.
quite. It was. Oh, there is actually now a video on my YouTube channel, and it is a video of the fireworks. It
I'll
was.
definitely go check that out.
It was
I got
quite
a quick
spectacular,
answer.
I have to admit.
I got an answer to a question that I had. Why is it important to go to the moon? Why is the need now in all this time? Well, because only lunar telescopes can answer the mysteries of the universe. I mean, further away telescopes can answer better, but the feasible thing to do, the reachable thing to do is the moon. That's why it's necessary if we want to know the mysteries of the universe. Any thoughts on that?
It's a awesome place to start from when you
Yes.
want to go further.
It's a bit
I
of a
would say
sweeping statement, though, isn't it? That you can only answer the mysteries of the universe from the moon. Okay, so that telescope that we launched a little while ago, that's out there at Lagrange
That
Point,
little
whatever,
one.
that little one, yeah, the James Webb. That's just pissing around, really, isn't it? You're just playing.
Yeah, but
All right, who's
wouldn't
that? Sigrid, go ahead.
it be a case that it would be easier to build a platform for a much greater telescope with easy upgradability rather than rendezvousing at a Lagrange point? You can simply just have it on the moon.
Well,
Anchored, yeah.
Well, sure. That's a good idea. Well, less atmosphere turbulence and all that stuff would be awesome. But I don't think that would be a purpose for it. I think if they thought about it, because to me, I could see it being an awesome place to get to Mars and take more shit to Mars cheaper in the long run once they're there. And then once that's there, I could easily see them putting an observatory on it because why wouldn't we want to look at the atmosphere with so much less atmosphere to interrupt it? I could see that happening. I don't think it's the reason we go though, or go back. That'd be.
But it's a
crazy.
good reason. It's a great
it
reason.
It is
Not
a good
to
reason,
go.
but no,
It's a good reason to go, but not to
stepping
go.
stone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a stepping stone and available resources, shall we say?
I think once they go back to the moon, then you'll start hearing things about going to Mars. Not us going to Mars, but getting things to Mars and further out in the universe, because we have this point that is so much further away and easier to launch from.
Yes,
In
out of the
theory.
gravity well.
Yeah. So we're getting things
Something about a
further
black
and
hole.
faster.
I got something about a black hole. Bubble found zipping around black hole with mind-blowing velocity, but is traveling at 30% the speed of light. Orbit is similar in size to Mercury's, says. Hmm. I don't know about all that, man. Is there a video clip over here? I thought it was. Yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah, but it's only an animation, isn't it? They won't actually have a video of it.
Of course not.
Bloody cartoons. Good dear.
Anything that speaks about galaxies and further away than our galaxy, there's no videos of it at all. Space fingerprint created by stars.
What would you expect to see on the Galaxy video?
To like, we can look at the sun and the moon and some clusters of stars from Earth. I should see the Milky Way galaxy. Fred, you're miking. You gotta mute.
We're in
I should be
The
able
Milky
to see
Way
the
galaxy.
actual
You
Milky
see
Way
it.
galaxy.
You
No,
do.
I mean, how am I gonna see my house if I'm inside a room? I can see the edge of my house. If I look through the window, I can see the little edge. But I don't know how my house is, what my house is, if I don't see it, if I'm not outside the house. How are we going to see the Milky Way galaxy if we are in it?
I'm watching a YouTube video of the Andromeda galaxy, which is our closest galaxy, through some guy's 10-inch telescope. And there's a little sequence on there as well. So yes, there is video of a galaxy outside that galaxy.
I give you that, yeah, fair. But nothing of the Milky Way galaxy. As for the actual way, the actual whole of the Milky Way galaxy, there's none of that. There's might be a little edge, like if I'm looking through the window and I look at the little edge of my house, like a 2-inch segment. It's no videos of the Milky Way galaxy.
I was going to call. Wait a minute. I was going to call you Jose, but Jose. That's because that's because with the same probability of aliens visiting us, which is incredibly unlikely, it's the same reason why we'll never see the Milky Way galaxy from afar. Is would need billions of years to do it. No one wants to wait that long or invest that much money.
Yeah. No, another reason why we can't see our own galaxy. Go and take a photo of the outside of your house whilst you're still in it.
Exactly.
You can't see the outside of your house whilst you're inside it.
I've got a really long selfie stick, farmers. I can do that.
There you go.
Long enough to take a picture of our galaxy whilst you're in it. Yeah.
No, you asked about the house. You asked about the house.
If the first thing they built, if the first thing NASA built was a probe that went out into the universe, there still hasn't been enough time for it to get outside of the Milky Way to get the picture
Milky
yet.
Way, it's barely left the bloody solar system.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What
You
has
just
been
have to
mapped?
be a bit patient.
What has been mapped of the Milky Way galaxy?
Everything that we can see.
Yeah, you can map something and plot it via parallax and distance calculations from within. That's actually how motion interpolation and pixel tracking works in visual effects and tracking.
So if
Like
I
if you
live
took
if I'm in a big building, a 10 stories building, and I'm in a little room, a 2x2, 2 feet by 2 feet room, standing in that corner in the somewhere in the building, can I map that building and I can give you a sketch on how the building should look? Me from standing in the spot.
If the walls were made out of glass and there was enough luminance difference within the depths looking through that glass, much like an owl or any forward-facing predator moves its head side to side to gauge distance, you could do the same.
A little far-fetched to grasp that is possible.
Jesus Christ. I can explain that to my daughter, and she's 9 months old. She can't speak yet.
I don't know, man. I'm illiterate in that galaxy-wise.
Mm-hmm.
You guys agree that we know the shape of our galaxy and our location in it?
Yes.
All right.
Luckily, we have a 360-degree panorama in every direction throughout the year.
So I can take a picture of my doorknob and I can say this is a picture of my house.
No,
If you take a picture of your doorknob and then took a picture in every direction at 360 degrees up and down and horizontal, then yes, we could map out your door, your living room, and any room off that living room that we could see walks off to.
So can I say that the picture of the doorknob is my house?
It's a picture of a part of your house, yes.
Because when I see the picture of I'm doing the air quote, Milky Way galaxy, the people take a picture to the sky and you got this cluster of like gases and shit. That's not the Milky Way. That's just a part, a little segment of it.
Yes.
Yes.
You can go to like the observatory. No, not
think that's a
observatory.
neat
Wait, not observatory. What's that place that you go and it has the stars on the walls and the ceiling and all
Planetary. A planetary.
that? Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Planetarium, yeah.
that's the one.
So do you think that it needs to be clarified when people show the picture? They say, this is a picture of the Milky Way. Everybody understand, but how about illiterate people like me and flat earthers that think that that's the actual Milky Way? Should it need to be clarified?
It is the actual Milky Way. It's just a part of it.
But it's not the actual Milky Way. It's a part of the actual Milky Way.
But it's the actual Milky Way. It's a part of it.
Then it's not the actual Milky Way is way bigger and a different shape than that smoosh of stars.
That would be the Milky Way in its whole entirety.
Jose, if you take a picture of a tree, can I pretend that you did not take a picture of the tree because I can't see the roots?
No, but if I go really close and I take a picture of a leaf of that tree, I cannot say this is a picture of a tree because it's part of the tree.
Yeah,
I gotta say this is a picture of a small segment of the tree.
Yeah, I was trying to trick you.
I don't know. Sorry.
Well, if I took a picture of a limb on a tree, I could say it's a tree.
Well, no, I will say that's a limb of the tree, part of the tree, maybe.
Yeah, but it's still a tree.
What is the question here?
Wait. What is it? What part of a tree makes it a tree?
The whole thing that you can see from the ground to the top to the sides, you can see the whole thing.
If you see just the trunk, is it a tree?
No, it's a trunk. Of a tree.
Jose, here's a question for you. Jose, you go out to the beach, you take a photo of the beach and it's got that little bit of water. Do you call that the ocean or do you call it a little bit of the water, which is the ocean? Go.
That's a great question. That's a great question. And I want to start answering the question by thanking the 30 plus people watching on YouTube. Hit that like button. Join us on Discord. Check on all the links and press all the buttons around. Thank you very much. Carry on, guys.
The question, Jose, like you live in Florida?
You just answered it. Didn't you hear him?
And yeah, you live in Florida. But if I was to get a flight to Florida, would I expect to see you everywhere in Florida?
Not necessarily. But how would I know the shape of Florida if I never saw the shape of Florida? I seen the shape of Florida in, from higher altitude vehicles.
To be fair, the people who mapped Florida didn't need to see it from the outside. They mapped it from the inside.
Yes, and then we are today able to see it from the outside. And if that's the case with the galaxy, how far have we gone into exploring and mapping this galaxy? We have gained into one dot out of a biggest patch, You got 20 million pixels in a screen, and you're just mapping one dot of that 20 million pixels in the screen. Do you think you can map the whole thing, the whole screen, being in that one dot? No, I don't think you can.
Try. You're doing a good job of it so far.
Hold on is telling me to be careful with the arguments now because a human is still a human if he or she has no arms.
That's true.
Okay.
That's a
So
horrible
how do you
question,
know
by the
that?
way.
How do you know that what you call the Milky Way picture taken from the ground to the Milky Way? How do you say it's an arm and it's not a finger or the dick of the Milky Way, a dick shape, something? You just came up with that's an arm, and that's how we know the rest of the shape.
How do you know they're not a robot?
How do you? Yeah. No. Nobody would know, man. I question this. I don't know. It's weird, and I understand the concept of the mapping of the Milky Way, but I don't know. I don't buy it 100%. I don't buy it at all.
Really?
Yeah, really personal.
Do you really think we would need to look at it from the outside to really assert the shape of the Milky Way?
Or be able to travel at least wider in order to know what's out there, what's the perimeters of it.
Perimeter?
We mapped more of our galaxy than the ocean floor.
It's quite possible.
So we are told, yeah. So we are told.
You're in a good mood today, aren't you?
Yes.
You feel like jestery.
I have my flip-flops on today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I'm in that building, right? Even if it's glass windows and everything, I'm just taking pictures and data and measuring with little rods and devices to take all kinds of measurements, all the way in the other end, which is super extremely far away. Me being that small in that big building, I'm not able to map that because I don't know actually in that end if that's a fake wall that I have, a fake see-through wall, and what's beyond it. I gotta get closer to that other wall to see if it's actually a real wall. I'm
Why don't
looking
you
at the
just
actual thing.
Why don't you just send a RC car with an HD camera on it?
I wish that people will send something like that, a vehicle with a better cameras and measuring tools to measure the galaxy, our galaxy.
I'm pretty sure they're working on it.
They haven't even left the solar system, and they've been out there how much? 30, 40, 50 years more, right?
Yeah, it's a big solar system.
Shit. And the solar system is, as I say, a dot in a millions of pixel screen.
Absolutely.
Shit.
So you can ask this question and doubt this question in like 5,000 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's fair, and that's my point. It's acceptable because it's understood, and we are told the mechanism which we are, of the information that we presented. Yeah, we use this mechanism, we use this pattern, we use this setup to show you this is what we came to the conclusion, but we really don't know if that's true or not. We would never know until we actually reach that far to know. So the question is out there. The question is out there: is there anything beyond the solar system? That's the question out there. What if all these galaxies, quote unquote galaxies and stars and clusters are like just the outer of the solar system? We just rounded by all those light spectacles, which we would never know if they are light spectacle because we never reached that far.
You can tell from the ground that there are lights in the sky, right?
Yeah, we see them. They twinkle.
No, thanks.
They
You
don't
want to
really
take over?
twinkle, but
You know, are you denying the lights in the sky? Maybe I just heard you wrong.
Are you guys denying that there are lights in the sky?
I could have heard you wrong.
Do you agree with my point? No, thanks. Were you listening to me? Some of the points I presented. Is that fair? Fair stance?
I
As a
heard you
globe.
say that. I heard you say we mapped more of the galaxy than the ocean floor.
I didn't say that. No, I disagree with that. I don't.
Oh, you disagree?
Yeah.
I disagree as well.
Stingray, do you think that's a fair statement? Have we mapped more of the space, outer space, than the actual ocean, you know, under the ocean?
No, well, if outer space is everything beyond ourselves, then the answer is categorically no. If you're on about our galaxy, I would still argue that it's probably the answer's no, but I don't know because I don't know how many stars there are in our galaxy or the approximation. I've never seen someone say there's exactly this number of stars, so no. And
They
those
said
stars,
billions. I have heard billions.
Yeah, but the problem with that is we might be able to see the star. It takes us a long time to study the orbital paths or gravitational characteristics of around that star to derive whether there's planets or other bodies. So if a star on average can have like, I don't know, 2 bodies that rotate around it, then I would say no. There's no, I would say no. But I'm just guessing.
What are your thoughts on these exoplanets they called?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it.
Earth-like planets that they have discovered hundreds by now. In our galaxy, actually.
the sweet spot. Yeah, that's possible.
Possible, yeah. By observing some kind of orbit, and I don't know, location, distance from the sun and stuff, from other stars. You think that's the key? I think so. They find they find a star, they find a little dot near it in a distance like feasible, and they see some kind of a movement, a little dot orbit, and they say, yeah, that's an exoplanet, and they draw it very pretty with colors. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I mean, it's just I think it's just a black and white. Isn't it just black and white dots on a piece of paper?
And we add colors to it. Whatever we think.
It's a little bit more involved than that. There's a thing called radial velocity where they watch for wobble of the stars they're observing, and that's caused by planets. They also look for transits where they actually see planets pass in front or cast shadows on the stars that they're looking at. That's how they've discovered most of them. Apparently, so far, 3,912 exoplanets have been discovered in that way.
How many light years is the closest one?
I don't know.
So they saw a shadow light years away?
Yes.
Huh. Shadow.
How big is the solar system? How big is the solar system? It is 80 astronomical units, or about 0.00127 light years. 0.00127 light years. Because there's an article of Voyager 1 that it said that it left the solar system is now 12 billion miles from our sun. But I have read that that's not, the solar system is not the sun. It's so big past that nothing, not even this vehicle, have reached the outer perimeters of our solar system.
I mean, I'm learning something new every day. I didn't know you can even have shadows in outer space. That's pretty cool.
Shadows in our space. I like that. Tell us about where do you hear that?
I heard it just now. That's how they measure the exoplanets. When there's another orbit and a shadow and out, they're measuring the shadows in outer space.
Says here, when a planet passes directly between its star and an observer, as in us, it dims the star's light by a measurable amount. And that's how that's one of the systems they use for spotting planets.
I like the wording of that a little bit better. You're saying that when this one source of energy in the sky gets closer to another source of energy in the sky, it dims the one source's energy?
Didn't say that the planet was a source of energy.
I would say this planet that we're on is a source of energy.
Is it? What energy is that then?
All the energies that we know, we take from the Earth and the sky.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. If it wasn't for the sun, we wouldn't be here. There would be no life on Earth. Just about all the energy that we actually use and that keeps us alive is coming from the sun.
From the sky. We don't go to the sun.
No, the sun, not the sky, the sun.
Yeah. And we gather it from the sun?
Well, it comes here to us in the form of radiative heat.
And infrared light.
Yeah.
Which is responsible for 80 to 90% of the heat on our surface.
The effects. So we gather it from the effects of the sun. I see.
Oh, fuck's sake. Maybe I need drink.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to drink something too. Again, first I thought you were saying the shadows in outer space and that somebody's going up and gathering the little pieces of sun and energizing.
No, nobody said that anybody's going up and gathering little pieces of the sun. I mean, bizarre behaviour.
There weren't shadows in outer space. There would be no
And the
light
shadows,
in outer space. And we wouldn't have things like eclipses. So,
yeah.
Thank God, shadows are a thing anywhere with light.
Look at the moon.
Look
at the craters. Look at the shadows in the craters.
So outer space is lit up or it's dark?
Great question. Thank you. No thanks. Great question.
Oh my God.
Define outer space.
Define shadow.
Just one big shadow.
Define illumination.
Define.
Oh man.
404.
What do you think? Doofus.
What do I think? I don't know. I just started listening more closely as I heard it was time to make the conversation bad again.
Yeah.
This is good. What was the question again? No thanks about. What was the last question you asked?
I was doing the same, just listening in. So we find where we find there's exoplanets. We measure them according to the shadows in outer space, and then another guy on here says that when the energy from one light in the sky gets near to another energy, it can be seen not as a shadow, but as one energy source dimming the other energy source.
No.
Yeah, nobody here said that.
Manning. Nobody said that except you. Oh.
Yeah, this is what I mean by make the conversation bad again.
Yeah. What did you say? If you can clarify.
A planet is not an energy source.
That's what you said?
No, it's just when something got in the way of a light source. And if something gets in the way of a light source, it typically gets darker, the light source.
Yes, I didn't say that it was one energy source getting in front of another energy source. You brought that up. You made that up. I didn't say that at all. Nobody did except you.
But you gave a piece of information and he interpreted it that way.
Sounded like that's what you were saying. You said when one of these things gets close to the other thing, what happens?
So I specifically said when an exoplanet passes in front of a star. I think that's pretty unambiguous. That's pretty clear as to what that means. But you...
What happens? What happens then?
It dims the planet, the exoplanet passing in front of a star dims the light coming from that star. That's how they can work out that there's planets there. said nothing about energy sources.
What do they interpret that dimming as?
You know,
For
like
fuck's sake, I just told you.
You know, like if you put your hand in front of a torch that's pointed in your eyes, you
Yeah.
can dim the torch. You occlude
So what do
the light.
we call that thing? What do we call that thing then?
We call it occlusion. If you want to be pedantic about it.
So occlusion in the sky. Is that what you're saying there, bud?
I'm saying occlusion, one object in front of another.
It casts
You
an
added it in the
occlusion.
sky part.
It doesn't cast an occlusion. It is occluding.
All right. So the one thing is casting an occluded occlusion next to another thing in the sky, and it's dimming it, right? Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah,
that's,
if you want.
That's totally what was.
It's just being a wanker.
That's
yeah,
totally what was said in the
Don't
conversation.
Or you could just say your words. Yeah, you could just say it plainly. Yeah.
Right, he did. It's
Oh,
fine.
did he?
Yep.
What did he say then? 'Cause
When an
Read it back.
exoplanet go past in front when an exoplanet passes in front of a star, that's occlusion. That's the statement right there.
and that tells you, what does it tell you?
But something is in
That-
front of
that-
something
That
else.
exactly. That occlusion is when the exoplanet is passing in front of the star. That's
Now we're going to add
Well, we
more
got-
words.
go ahead, David.
You can move forward if you think that's a good enough answer for anybody listening. Yeah, sure. And if
No,
it
no,
means
that
something,
is-
does it mean something?
Being pedantic.
Yeah,
Does it mean
definitely.
anything? Like, what does it mean?
Yeah,
What are you
definitely
saying?
means. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you
what does
for
it
doing
mean?
that again. Thank you for doing that again.
If you're going to
what
if
it means
you're
to
just gonna
the
say back
audience.
to me, it
Yeah,
definitely
thank you.
means
Thank you for
something. Or
cutting
you're
in.
gonna just-
Yes,
are you gonna
thank you
actually
for
say what
cutting
He's
it
trying
in.
to answer. No,
Thank you for cutting
no,
in
thanks,
yet
he's trying to
again.
answer.
Thank you for cutting in.
I mean,
I'll
all
say
the
that
thank
again.
yous. I just want to do it again.
Yes, I know. I understand. Thank you for cutting in again. Thank you.
He's trying to
Shoot,
answer.
man.
Alright.
I'm getting
I'll
like
get-
rewarded.
I'll
for
get to it at some point, I guess. Maybe I'll get to it if you stop interrupting.
Well, stop
Alright.
telling me thank you.
It is.
Jesus
It is
Christ.
good. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for interrupting again. I'll get to it if you allow me to. All right. So
So,
it's a good enough answer to. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. It's a good enough answer for everybody else on the listening in the audience and everybody else on the panel that something got in the way of a light source.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all.
oh, okay. So it's just a light source. I got you.
The star
Just a
is
light in the
definitely
sky.
a light source. Yes, the star is
Yeah.
definitely a light source.
Yeah, it's just a light in the sky.
Yeah,
So the star. Yeah. Good.
is a source of light. Yes.
And the other thing was what?
Something that got in the way.
Yeah, if you can see my screen at the moment, there is a star on screen. Now, if I move like this, there is a ship occluding that star. It is the thing I am in. I am now in the shadow of that star, given to me by that ship.
It's a
Uh-oh.
shadow. Okay.
Frustration.
I don't know why you got to be so cryptic. Just be clear. You're saying, hey, we look up in the sky, we see these dots. We don't actually look up and see this. What do you look through to see this?
What, to see occlusion?
To see this exoplanet.
I don't know. I was on about occlusion. I
Well,
guess.
this-
Yeah, farmers said if they move in front of a star, because they're probably not the same diameter as the star, and the star can still give off a considerable amount of light with diffusion even around that object. But what it does is the 2D area that it occludes from that star makes the overall magnitude of the light from that star less. We call that dimming. So when a star is dimmed, we can assume that either it just let out one huge fart or something moved in front of it.
Yep.
And
And-
these are the only two choices. So either a star farts or something moves in front of it. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
effectively, when some object like that is smaller than the object that is giving off the light, we call that, as we observe it, we're in the antumbra. Here's another word for you. Now you can be confused about that too.
Is that another word for shadow? It seems like you guys are afraid to say the word shadow.
An antumbra is part of a shadow. Depends on how you look at a shadow.
So So I mean,
What
just
we
you
have
know,
on
for the
screen right
audience,
now
we-
is
yeah.
the Stingray. What we have on screen right now is the Stingray, some kind of a video game or program, something with stars and rockets and planets. Is cool. Somebody asked in the chat.
Systems and other people.
Yes, I'm about to jump into my quantum drive.
Because it has the word quantum.
Yes.
Means there's only one drive.
It's powered by quantanium as well, I think, or something. No, it's something. I don't know. I can't remember. There we go. Quantum drive.
Is that
Yeah.
the
So I mean, I guess
light
I
or
guess I got a
faster?
good. I guess I got a good idea of it. So I don't know what we look through to see this yet. So you don't look through. You just don't look up and see it, right? But we look through something, and then we see these two lights in the sky, right? Because one has to be lit, right? They both have to be lit, right, to see them. Right? So you see these two lights in the sky. One gets closer to the other one,
One light.
passes in front of it, and it no.
One.
All right, one gets close, passes in front,
One.
dims the other one. No, wrong.
Uno.
Go ahead.
The planet
Getting it.
casts a shadow. It prevents us from seeing the light, the star completely. As if you put a hand in front of a torch. Your hand doesn't project any light. It reflects light, but it doesn't emit any light, and it blocks the torch.
Right. And
Well, the
most of
gentleman
these
earlier said
exoplanet
there's
observations
diffusion.
are being done. Most of
He
these
said there's
exoplanet
diffusion
observations are being done. Most of these exoplanet observations are being done with equipment that you can't personally own. You don't have the resources in order to make these kind of observations.
So, okay, well, this is just all just a story then. But all right, so we have this story where somebody claims they're viewing two lights in the
Can
sky
you do
somewhere.
a home heart transplant? No,
What?
you can't, can you? Can you do
I
a
didn't
home
hear you.
heart transplant?
I can't hear you.
Well, listen. Can you
It's like
do
a
home
combination of like the
heart-
microphone and the accent.
No, it's just you talking.
Oh,
while
I'm very,
you're
very
speaking.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you do a home heart transplant?
I think you're saying a heart transplant from your home.
Yes. Can you do one?
Can I do one?
You haven't-
Not well. I could guess.
Right, exactly. You haven't got the equipment. Get the right equipment, and you can do one. Simple, in it, really.
Right. What does that? Does that mean something?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, I guess it means something somewhere. But yeah, so we got this.
Yeah, whether or
story
not
that
you can independently do it at your house doesn't make it fake all of a sudden.
Oh, I'm not saying it's fake. I'm just saying you're not doing it. Nobody in this room is doing it, or is somebody in this room doing it?
People in this room are doing other kinds of observations we could definitely go over if you want to talk about those.
No, it's taking this long just to clarify like a story we were just told of it. Yeah.
Right.
So nobody's doing it, right?
It was
But so
already
one
clear
thing
when it
goes-
was mentioned. It was already clear at the beginning. Something got in the way of something else. It was pretty easy.
Yeah. So the outer space shadow stopped us from seeing another light in the sky that dimmed as it went towards the other light. Yeah. And that's a
You
cool
wanna make
story, and it tells
you
you
wanna make
something.
it less clear, you can.
moron.
Yeah, if you want to make it
Easy.
less clear, you can. That's your prerogative. It was more clear when it was said the first time.
So how did you determine that the lesser light is a planet versus just a lesser star?
The planet is not a light.
Right. How did you? All right, then the greater light, right? Which one's blocking what?
Yeah,
The
you
planet's
said
blocking the
right.
star.
You said right, and you repeated the greater light. No,
Yeah.
no right, not right.
So which one? So you're saying the lesser light is blocking the greater light?
No,
right?
the no light,
No.
the no light dimmed the light.
There you go.
The no light dims the light.
Uh-huh,
So
yeah,
you're
no
telling
light.
me.
Not lesser, the no light.
All right. So then
Hot
what
mic,
you're saying is that the only. All right. So then that's what I want to clarify. So there's not two lights in the sky. You're saying now when we view these exoplanets, right? There's no two lights. There's one light in the sky, and then the one light dims. Therefore, there must be something else there. Dimming.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There's something in the way.
But it's never been seen.
No.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what we're
So
doing.
that's even
by
worse.
doing
The story's
nighttime
getting even
images
worse.
as much as possible.
Yeah, the story's getting even more unbelievable. Yeah.
That's
So
your
no,
opinion.
yeah. Well, so there's nothing to be seen. There's nothing. So for the audience, right? There's nothing ever seen. All they're seeing is one light in the sky dimming and inferring a planet. Cool, cool story. With equipment that nobody owns.
We can go
Well,
over
Like
that
someone
good
more
owns
if
it.
artists.
you want to do something that's more
Nobody
practical
owns
for the home user.
Nobody in this room owns.
Shout out to, I gotta give a big shout out to Earth is Life with a big $10 super chat. Thank you for the support, Earth is Life. There's an image that he shared and he wants us to take a look and go over it. I can share. Singra, you don't have to stop screen sharing. I'll present you back up in a minute if you want to hang out. I got an image to share by B-Ball. The back to the audience. We're gonna switch shifts a little bit over here. Let's see what we got. One image shared by Earth is Life. I don't know how to explain. I don't know what is going on in this image, but there is an image on screen right now. I
Yep.
think.
There appears to be a building off in the distance, which is there's a height of reference for that building, and that building is tall enough. Is that height right? That the side of the boat is clearly a lesser altitude. So we can infer from those two pieces of information that there is drop from horizontal occurring with respect to distance.
You see the image that we're talking about? No thanks. If you click on the
I don't
screen
have my phone in front of me.
share- All right.
I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you.
Yeah. Well, there's an image top and down. We got two images. One zoomed in with a big boat vessel, and there's we can see the boat. We can see behind it in the background, in the horizon, like a building. You got a big block like a building and a big like smoke tower. And then in the bottom we have a control image from up close of this building and the smoke towers. Only thing is that what we see is the water, the boat sitting in the water, and then the building just sitting in that water. A little bit of the building and the smoke tower, but there's a lot more underneath the building, like the foundations, the bottom, parkings, land, all kinds of shit we don't see in the image in the top.
Yeah, it's probably
can
like every
imagine
other
that.
photo he puts up. Yeah.
Yeah, like blocked from the bottom up, like missing the bottom segment of it. You want to tell us what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are there's something about you can go to the telescope, camera, theodolite, whatever you want to use, right? At a certain distance, 500 feet, the Earth will never curve. You just get to a certain distance, looking through pieces of glass in the distance, things drop through these apparatus, and that's what we call Earth curve. It's really just that boring.
You're saying that the obstruction and the drop with respect to distance is solely based on the optical device that you're using.
What I'm saying is that there is no Earth curve ever observed over 500 foot, sightings.
Okay.
You have to
let me ask it again.
You have to use these instruments like 10 plus miles to start seeing some sort of distortion. And it's the apparatus every time, because if you were to go up and check to see how far this thing is up off the ground, it's, 1 foot from sea level. You go back to the other side, 1 foot from sea level. You stand there with your theodolite or whatever, and you look to the left and you measure, there's a drop. Then you turn around, you look to the right, 10 miles away, there's another drop. There's just all these little humps. Everywhere you go, you stand, you look backwards from where you came from, and there's drops.
That's exactly how it would work on a sphere, yeah.
Yeah, and that is the globe. It's looking through an apparatus miles and miles too far and calling the Earth a globe. It's
looking too far.
We've inserted too far now. Why is it too far?
What's too far?
Yeah, why is it too far?
Well, I mean, it's got to be just the right distance. Yeah. I mean, like if he's looking through that telescope, too far, right, for Earth curve. If he's looking like, say, I don't know, 20 miles through this instrument, the Earth is probably triple curved right now, way too small. You got to get like to exactly the right distance to get the Earth curve you're looking for.
No. Citation will be needed for that. What I'm asking is, what is too far and why is it too far?
What and what? I mean, why? I'm not sure. That's just how it works, right? But so what I'm saying is, you can go to a certain distance, right? You have to get just the right distance through these theodolites and whatnot, right? You got to go just the right amount of distance. Otherwise, you're going to see way too much drop, right? And then the Earth's going to be too small. If you do it too close, if you look too close to this, binoculars, then the Earth is going to have no curve. You got to get just to the right amount of drop and measure from there. Yeah.
All right, I would need a citation for that. But again, I'm asking.
Oh,
you said
take it.
You said that it was just that is too far, and you said, well, that's just how it works. I'm looking for more detail than that's just how it works.
All right, well then here, this is what you can do with whatever picture he put up there. Do the math for it with the distance and what's missing, etc. And you're most likely, unless he's already checked this out and made sure to only post the picture that fits it, right? Check it all out, and it's probably going to tell you that the Earth is that there's triple the amount of drop that's needed for the Earth of 3959, and he's going to have to go back to the correct distance, get the right amount of distortion in the apparatus, viewing, and get the right Earth curve.
Well, that's a fun claim, but you don't have anything to support that statement.
I mean, I'm sure whatever picture he put up would support that statement.
It doesn't.
Because it's round. And if there's any drop, it has to be round.
Oh, okay.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
round. Round, in it. What size it is immaterial. But it's round.
Wait a minute. He tackled on an interesting point. So if I look at something that is very far through an apparatus, it would look like it drops, according to what you said. So what if I look? Yes. What if I look at something that is perfectly vertical from me, that is very high? Would it look perfectly in the center of the apparatus, or would it look like it drops? And if I do a 180 degree, would it still look like it drops from my perspective? Or would it be?
So.
You believe so?
Oh, I do not believe so. Right? I don't know which way a vertical would drop.
Then you have a contradiction.
Well, we have an atmosphere that goes sideways. Yeah.
Oh, so now it's not the fault of the apparatus; it's the fault of the atmosphere.
All of the above. When looking through the atmosphere through this apparatus, you get this effect, and you can change the distortion, or what you guys call drop, depending on how far away you stand. Yeah. That's all.
Well, that you still need to provide a citation for.
I mean, I'm sure Earthball Life, he provided it already. Just take the measurements and see how much Earth drop is in his photos.
Okay.
And if it's too much Earth drop, what I would suggest to him, if he wants to convince others of the globe, is figure out that magic number where he has to stand with the theodolite to get the perfect amount of Earth curve. And if you're interested in what that number is, check out the WS84 and see how far they did it, and that's probably where you got to stand.
WGS84 is not flat. Anyway, the amount of the distance that he's given is 17 miles. Now, for the amount of the building that we see in the distance, that works out fine for an observer that is 10 feet above the level of the water, or simply up a beach a little bit. That's fine. That would give you exactly what we see here.
And he got lucky.
What I need to know then is why, if it seems to make perfect sense for a spherical Earth of that particular size, did you say that he would be able to support your position that it would be too much drop?
Well, I said that he either cherry-picked his photo from that day and did the calculations already and only presented the photo that fit his calculations, which is what I would suggest to anybody who wants to convince others that the Earth is a globe. Or if you were to just take a natural picture and check it out, right, and not have it all ready to go with what you needed to say and cherry-pick it, it's most likely going to, tell you that you need to stand a little closer, a little further from your observation to get the amount of curve that you want.
Well, so we have an example at 17 miles, which fits. I can bring up an example. I can bring up an example of 20 miles, which fits.
Yeah. You could do it with every number.
Another example I can also bring up another example, which is mountain peak to mountain peak, which also fits. So
Right,
I
yeah,
need
you can do
from
it with
you
all
somewhere
sorts of
where
things.
it doesn't fit.
And just about every other observation that doesn't fit. I mean, you can cherry pick as many as you need. This is so you're pretending, right? In what we're saying right now, you're pretending that every time we observe something from any distance, it matches a radius of 3950 now, which you know is a lie, but you can continue with it if you want, but you know it's not true.
Right, but I need a counterexample because all the instances that you guys have shown us, whenever we pull meteorological data for that day, specifically I'm referring to the black swan, which you guys love to refer to, whenever we pull that data, we find out the surface is quite a huge difference colder than the air above that surface.
Right. So
How do we find that?
yeah. So what you're looking to go towards is, in the line of discussion is how does the atmosphere play into it? Yeah, it plays into it for sure. The temperatures and things like this. Yeah.
I see you don't have anything specific to provide us, though.
Most of the photos, if you go out and take them, they will vary. I mean, how many photos are you supposed to take to get the accurate measurement? For how many days?
I can do it on 1 or 2 days just fine.
One
all I
picture
need
each
to do,
day?
Yep. All I need to
Wow.
do, all I need to do is have some altitude. I can have all of my shots make perfect sense if I'm just 20 feet above any surface. Just cut out the variability just by gaining a little altitude, and then everything is fine.
So when you look 20 miles through a non-adjustable telescope, you see Earth curve. Gotcha.
Telescope. I mean,
Is that not what it is?
Non-adjustable.
well, telescopes don't have an adjustable field of view typically, but
Well, but adjustable does not only refer to field of view.
you can focus it. Pretty much all you
Yeah, I
really
mean
want
that's
to do
it.
with
I mean
telescope
that's
is
not,
focus.
yeah. Right, so that's as complicated as the globe gets. It's just that boring. Yeah.
Oh, that it fits observation? Yeah, that's pretty boring.
You think it's boring? No, thanks for real. The globe, it's exciting.
The globe is boring.
The sizes, the distances, the movements, everything is exciting.
Yeah, sure,
Although-
for your mind. None of it can be demonstrated in reality. So I mean, like, it's a cool story. Like, it really is. It literally is a cool story, and it would be fantastical and awesome, like great adventure story. But none of it, you can't do any of the cool stuff ever. Like, you're never
But
going to be able to
it's
do any of the cool stuff.
it's actually the opposite. Everything can be demonstrated and proven to be that way.
Right
Wow.
there, the story that's much more fun and much more interesting, at least to me, is the things that I can do with the technology that I can have at home to verify the various parts of the model. For instance, if I take a amateur radio with a directional antenna pointed at the moon, and I get a signal back about 2.5 seconds later, I know how far away the moon is.
It's 2.5 seconds away. Yeah. Traveling
And
through what?
to be fair, reality is usually boring.
I mean, how much does that signal slow down as it goes, through the vacuum of space, and then bounce back? Just the right amount, I bet, right?
Slows down.
through
I think you got your story backwards.
Yeah. Goes through the speeds up, yeah. So it goes through the atmosphere, right? Like a regular air, right? It gets thinner as you go up, or does it get more dense? I guess there's a contrary terms, right?
Wait, now let's talk ratios. How much air, regular air, it goes through?
Yeah. Well, what I'm asking is it? Are you when you do this, when you send this signal, are you imagining one consistent medium?
I'm asking you.
Oh.
How much regular air it goes through?
Not as much as in outer space.
All right.
Not as much
So
volume.
that's negligible, right? We can ignore the slow down, which is small anyway.
Can you define
less than a
regular
percentage
air?
point. Yeah, less than a percentage point, and for only significant in the first 30 kilometers, less than a percentage point still. And then the other hundreds of thousands of kilometers, there's nothing in the
Or
way.
instantaneous. Yeah.
Well, not instantaneous. Speed of
Oh.
light in a vacuum.
So you're really only you're only measuring 30 kilometers then. That's cool.
No, that's not what was said.
No,
The rest of
that
it's
was
just
not what he said.
instantaneous.
That was a
back
nice
and forth in the vacuum.
mischaracterization of what I actually said.
Yeah, I don't know.
What I actually said was the difference in speed is only significant in the first 30 kilometers, and even then, it's less than 1 percentage point. For the other hundreds of thousands of kilometers, the speed difference is negligible. It's going through a vacuum.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what?
Now what? Yeah,
Well, since we have this measurement that has
so what
we
you're
have this
doing,
measurement that has that the 400,000 kilometer ish range to where the moon is. Now what?
So you're saying how many kilometers did you say until it hits that spot? You say what? Like maybe I don't know, maybe like 37 kilometers until it gets to outer space.
No.
The distance to where the amount of slowdown is insignificant is shorter than the Kármán line. There's so much less air at that altitude than there is in any other part of the atmosphere. The vast majority of the atmosphere exists below 30 kilometers.
Right. So you're saying that you shoot it at the moon, right? It's really, you're really only measuring, because everything else is negligible, about 40 kilometers, right? Until then, it just about instantaneously goes to the moon and back.
That's not what he said.
No, that's not it
and it
either.
goes back through. Oh, that's not it?
That is not what he said.
Yeah, you mischaracterized it the same way twice. That was interesting.
All right, okay, clarify. Yeah. So you're going to clarify.
So we get back a distance after having done the EME bounce of about 400,000 kilometers to the moon and back, or to the moon, 400,000 kilometers to the moon, or twice as much there and back again.
Are you purposely mischaracterizing what they say? No thanks. Or is it a strategy, or are you honestly doing this, just mischaracterizing it unintentionally?
Well, why would you measure? Right? Why would you measure this, like the instantaneous travel of light speed? Are you measuring light speed? Huh?
Yeah, it's not instantaneous. It took 2.5 seconds for it to go and then come back again.
Okay, so it's going through the atmosphere slower, much slower, right?
No.
Because
I know I said this earlier in the conversation. What I actually said was, even here at sea level and up to the first 30 kilometers, it's less than 1 percentage point difference in speed to the speed of light in a vacuum. Don't say, but it's really slow. No, because that's wrong, and we've corrected you several times on this already.
Okay, so things travel, you're saying here on Earth, right, through this atmosphere at the same, just how much, whatever, 0.0 something rate, same as outer space.
Right, about 99.8%.
Thousandths.
Yeah. 99.8% at sea level, if I remember correctly, or somewhere like that.
Okay.
Let me check again. Yeah, I think I'm off by a decimal place.
Yeah, you are. It's
that figures
99.98.
All right.
97.
Yeah, okay. There we go. That's better.
By giving specific figures, it's not going to change anything of no thanks, strategy and approach to the conversation.
Right. We'll go back to, but you're only measuring the first 40 kilometers again, even though that's not true.
Yeah, no, you told me you get to the ionosphere, you shake the instrument a little bit, it shakes its way through it, goes to the moon, comes back through the ionosphere at 40 kilometers, back to you in 2.5 seconds.
It leaves from me, gets to the moon, comes back in 2.5 seconds. And for that distance, the distance that makes sense for that sort of phenomena to occur is 400,000 kilometers or thereabouts.
There you go, speed of light. Confirmed.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I say so.
I mean, do you have any
That's what
argument
it's
against
no.
it?
I mean, there's no other alternative. There's nothing else besides that. If you got something else like that can add up to reality, bring it on.
Unless you know better.
Yeah, he might have a different idea on how things work and the velocity and all this shit. But as far as today, that's what is known. And then everything go quiet every time I ask for an alternative and the explanation from their perspective if they don't accept or agree with reality.
What, you're
There must be a
surprised?
different reality that they think it works, they think the way it works.
I mean, you literally think you're telling me this reality. You believe that you're shooting things at the moon, and that the moon is a set distance away that nobody can confirm independently. That then verifies something that they told
Many
you
people can
something else
confirm
travels.
it
It's silly.
independently.
Right, I just gave you how you could confirm it. You're doing
Yeah,
it
you
with
could-
equipment that you can have in your home, or if you know somebody who's an amateur radio operator that they have, and then you can go look at their equipment and see how they did it. It's the same process. You are confirming the distance to the moon. It's not we got this number and we just blindly believe it. No, we're actually measuring it. That's what we're doing with this EME bounce.
Why do all flat earthers think that actually confirming a distance means you actually have to physically measure it with like a tape measure or a ruler or something?
I don't know. I think they think laser rangefinders don't work.
Yeah, I mean, they don't work the way you're saying. No, they don't work over these great distances.
Okay, why not?
Citation, please.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, Lowe's.com says use this.
How do you know that they don't work over these great distances?
It says here, use this at 25 feet.
Well,
Use
he's
this
got
one
a
at 60
point.
feet.
You cannot go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy a laser that you can bounce off the fucking moon. You're right.
Of course not.
Oh man, I was getting ready. I was putting my shoes
I
on
know,
to
I was
go to
about to
Home
go get
Depot.
one.
It's a mile away from here, walking.
Well, I mean, that's what he used. That's what he used to. He said, "How come you must not believe when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's the
No, I don't think anybody
laser tape
believes that.
measure.
You can buy a laser rangefinder and measure the distance to the moon with it.
Well, that's what he just put forth. He put forth the idea that you should believe we can shoot the moon because you believe you can measure your carpet.
No, what I was responding to, I like your mischaracterization. That was fun. What I was responding to was the misconception that flat earthers have that you have to have a physical piece of material, a tape measure. You don't, clearly because laser rangefinders work. Now, in addition, we were previously talking about using an EME bounce from the moon, which also uses an electromagnetic emission. The thing that these two things share, laser rangefinders and EME bounce, is the fact that they're electromagnetic emission, but they are still using two different technologies.
Yeah. And you're claiming, but you claim that the moon is not an electromagnetic, I guess, hologram or something, right? You claim that it's a physical object like the wall.
Nobody's mentioned anything to do with the moon.
Even if you wanted to say,
I thought we were
even if
talking
you
about the
wanted
moon.
to say the moon was a hologram for whatever odd reason, whatever it happens to be 400,000 kilometers away. So whatever you want to make up about the moon, go ahead, but it's still 400,000 kilometers away.
According to this laser finder that you shot at it, that you got through the
laser finder. You did it again. That's great. But no, I didn't shoot a laser rangefinder at the moon.
Through the ionosphere, through the atmosphere, through the vacuum of space, and back again.
Okay. What's the problem?
In 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
The whole thing is a problem, and that's what makes you. That's what helps you believe that when you look through a telescope, the Earth
What
curve.
actually is the problem?
Right.
You
It was
cannot
saying that.
word it.
Yeah, just saying it is a problem is not really addressing anything, now is it?
Oh, well.
What is the problem?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're taking a bunch of leaps of, I guess, I don't know, unverifiable faith, on distance,
Oh, really?
size,
Wait,
the distance of the moon, the size of the moon, the travel of the light, the two-way speed of it, right?
Yeah, right.
A whole bunch of
we have-
different things, right? So you have to agree to a whole long list of
I got a
things
question.
before you agree to that number.
Wait. Before.
Well, don't let him dance off of this one.
Yeah.
Hold on, guys.
We know radar works, right? It's not that radar doesn't work. We can measure distance to airplanes, to cars, to whatever you want with radar. So
You're saying it's a straight line.
You deny.
Speed cameras.
So, I know that if you have a guided missile sent to the airplane, it hits it eventually. So you do know where the airplane is.
So,
I guess you're going to shoot an
Waiting to see
airplane.
where the
Yeah.
actual
are you
leap is.
saying we can't verify speed? I mean, when I'm driving down the road to my house, there's on the side of the road they have those little speedometers saying you're going too fast. That number is usually exactly the same number that's on my speedometer.
Is it?
Yes, every time.
Every time? All right.
Every time.
Without fail.
One time I threw
Guys,
a
I need-
104-mile-an-hour baseball at a carnival. But
I need 30
the
seconds.
speedometer was broken.
I need 30 seconds to give a big shout out. I got 2 hits on PayPal over here, and that helps me a lot. It put me like almost there to complete my. I'm trying to grift and hustle to pay my, to working for the cost of the electric and internet bill. I'm almost there. I got 2. We got Marcus Dresden with $10. Thank you, Marcus. And Marcus says, Trismegistus in the chat is a total moron. Shout out to Marcus. Thank you very much. A lot of people know that Trismegistus is a moron. There you go. We got another one. This one is a big $20 buy. Hold on. Shout out to Hold On for the 20 on PayPal. He says, I reserve the right to interrupt whenever I feel like. So far, this no thanks guy can ramble on for a while. After all, he is capable to shut up and listen when needed. Thank you very much. Hold on,
Yeah.
and I exactly feel the same.
This is just an example of showing how easy it is to be a flat earther. All you got to do is just deny everything and just say, I don't believe that. How can you verify that? That's how easy it is to be a flat earther.
It's very easy to be I mean, it's not easy at first. I'll level with you guys. It's not easy at first.
Right.
At first, you have to. At first, you have to really. It comes as a shock at first, and it is kind of like disorienting. You're like, holy shit, everything is bullshit, and then you question like, how could this be possible, right? But then you realize they're telling you that they're lying to you, right? They tell you, they put it in their numbers and their calculations. They tell you it's a lie, right? The Earth's tilt 66.6 degrees, wobble 66.6 degrees, Capricorn 66.6 degrees. They discovered gravity in 1666. They're telling you it's a lie.
No,
right?
those numbers just not correct.
Hold on. Because we're trying to get away from this point again about the moon.
Yeah, the moon is probably 66.6 as well, man. I mean, I think it actually is somehow. I can't remember. I think that also has
it's not. No, it's not.
Probably I'd have to look into it. But the point is,
No.
it is to the guy who super chatted me, right? It is difficult to deal with it at first, but it does get easier, and then you realize that you just realize that everything on this Earth is measured at a horizontal, and then in a vertical datum from the horizontal, right?
Who
And then
told you that?
degrees from the horizontal, right?
Did you hear that from
Everything.
Bev?
Every single thing. That's just every single thing is measured from the horizontal.
Let me guess. You heard that from Bev or DP or somebody?
That's just what is.
Well, even if he did, it's not a problem because horizontal is
problem.
not something that suddenly disappears because we're on a curved surface.
Right, and then right. You're right on that, because then the measurement of the curvature of the Earth would have to be a drop from horizontal, right? So who's disputing horizontal?
Which we just kind of went over, didn't we? You seen the picture I
Yeah.
posted?
Like you and Al Baruni,
look at the picture.
you and Al Baruni have to stand at a certain distance to find some kind of drop from horizontal. But this is the thing that happens. Like some people will take like a water level, right? And they'll set up a water level and say, look how it drops, right? The water level is still at its level mark on both ends, like, this far apart, right? But look how it drops in the distance over this long range.
But then we see observations where someone's looking at a water level, two ends of a water level, and then there's buildings in the distance that are somehow below that. So how does that work?
That's just right. That's just how it works, right? I'm not God. I didn't create how we see things through this atmospheric lensing. I didn't create this Earth.
I see that as a cop out, because you propose things, you say I don't agree with that, but then I'm not gonna tell you because I have no fucking idea. You just deny, but you don't give you don't tell us how.
Well, the thing is, it's like I would say to you that how come then when I walk forward towards that object, I don't seem to be. I can keep on measuring the same elevation from sea level, right? I don't know, right? I can keep on maintain that horizontal elevation, and I'll walk up to that object, and it really is only 6 feet high in the air. And I'll go back, walk another 500 feet, and that's 6 feet in the air, right? They're all at the same spot. There's no measurable drop, right? You can't measure the drop.
Have you done that?
If you get close to something, then you can't find the drop. No, you have to get further away from it. Obviously, even on a spherical Earth, that makes sense. You can't be close to something and see the drop with respect to horizontal.
Well, you could do
distance because you need the part of the stop. Thank you.
You stop.
But you need that if you want to find drop with respect to distance. The part of that equation that you need, the distance, you need that. Obviously, if you have no distance, there's no drop with respect to distance.
So on a basketball, I can just do it with a tape measure in a basketball. How come I can't do it on Earth? How come I can't just walk in a straight line and that be enough verification for you guys to understand that there is no actual drop, because I went over there and measured my tape measure.
You know how we verify it? We actually observe it, right? So if you look in the chat, a guy named Jesse took a water level out to a place in Washington. The water level is at an elevation of 58 feet. And
yeah, the dude is. I know the guy. Yeah.
And you look at the buildings in the distance. That building, the top of that building, is 240 feet tall.
Right.
So how is it that the top of that building is falling below the 58-foot elevation of the water level?
That's the observation. So now when I go up is to double check it with physical measurements. Well, I mean, I can do it on a basketball. We can do this, right? We can say, okay, this thing has dropped here, and we can go measure it and say, oh no, that's only an inch above the basketball over here. It's an inch above the basketball here, right? So how come when I walk straight in a straight line, perfectly straight, or if I just what if I take a boat and I go from one end of the lake, all right, 6 feet high, go to the other end of the lake, 6 feet high. Then I take my theodolite, put it on the lake's edge, and I look, I'm like, man, that thing is dropping, lower, right? There's drop, 8 inches of drop, right? Now, but I go back, nope, it's 6 feet high, 6 feet high.
What makes you think
that would be exactly what you should expect to see on a spherical Earth? When you get up next to something,
but I measured it. I measured it 6 feet high.
When you get up next to something, you should be able to have consistent elevations. When you go farther away and have that consistent elevation reference far away, and then you look along that reference, you'll find that thing that was 6 feet is below that 6 feet reference at your local location. Why?
It's 6 feet high on each side, right? I measure 6 feet. I go to check it out. It's 6 feet high. That's it. Right. So
from one location. This is listen. This is how curved surfaces work, man. Do you not understand how a curved surface?
Right.
Wait, hold on.
No, man. I'm gonna hang up for a second because I'm gonna hang up. No, I'm gonna hang up because what I'm trying to. There we go. Understand who owns you. So what I'm trying to get out, right? Is what is different?
Oh no, that's unnecessary. No thanks. No thanks. Now we're gonna have Bibble. You first. Go ahead.
All right.
I owe this channel, and conversation is not gonna go like that. Disrespect. You rage quit.
Oh, he left.
Yeah.
Now you know who's in charge.
Right.
Still make
Well,
a point.
oh,
He was stuck.
he showed me. He told me.
Yeah,
Wow.
he really showed you.
I didn't mute him nor boot him or nothing. I was gonna
Oh.
tell him no, just for what he say. Now he just needed to just be quiet for a minute and let others speak.
Right.
I was just gonna ask
It
him
is
what
his turn.
what would you expect to see on a curve? Like, if let's say if the Earth were curved, what would these things look like? Would we get the same effect if the Earth were curved?
Right. That might require him to be able to think in 3D a little bit there, because a curved surface,
Right.
you're having a change in orientation, and that
No,
part
it just
he's not.
require.
He's not going to
it will-
understand that part.
It will require him to think. Period.
Require him to stop trolling.
Who's the boss? What?
I'm not sure
Who's-
he's trolling. He's a very confused person. He
No, no,
hear things.
sorry.
He hear things
Right.
that weren't said. Keep repeating them. However many times he being corrected.
He
So-
was
so-
trolling, and
So
we
Beef, no,
fell
there's
for
no
it.
trolling.
No,
Yeah,
he's-
no, what you did
Oh,
is
you're
you
back
ganged
now.
up.
He's come back.
So what you
All right,
did
all
was-
right, guys, everybody, calm down. Yeah, calm down.
Yeah, see,
Go
so what
ahead,
you did
okay.
was ganged up 6-on-1 until my point was so far in the past that you can continue talking. So if you're going to do that, I will head out. So
No,
just say, people,
Yeah,
all
but-
I need to,
Goodbye.
oh,
No,
so
no,
people,
no,
all-
guys, hold on. No,
Oh.
thanks, hold on. Just let me make just this one point. So, because I'm kind of the moderator, the only moderator here. I mean, there's more moderator, but I try to keep it somehow under control, the conversation. So let's just not say the funny, colorful commentary like, I'm going to show you who's the boss and who's the, let's not do that.
Owning.
We can move on. We can just move on from that and just keep talking about what we're talking about. Go ahead, guys.
So, question.
people,
What?
people, all I need you to say, people, is the magic word, right? So why you can't measure, right? So why it doesn't work the same on a basketball, a beach ball versus
It would
the
work the
globe. Say the magic word. Why you can't measure the drop?
Well,
Why you
well,
can't measure it
here's-
physically?
We could measure the drop over a basketball. Do you know how?
Physically, yeah. A basketball, you can.
So you put two objects on a basketball, right?
Mhm.
And you make a tangent from one object, right? And obviously that tangent is gonna be above the other object. Does that make sense? Or do I have to draw it to see if you understand?
No, I get it. I get a tangent. Yep.
So that's how and then you would measure down to the other object. That's how you would measure the drop.
Yeah,
Right,
measure, with a tape measure.
Well, here's a better way to illustrate it, because
Wait, so this is
if
what I,
you
this is what I
have
mean
the
about.
if you have the basketball underneath of the
Here comes number two.
measuring
And then
device.
I guess a third person will jump in, and then I'll be able to talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll do this. This is fine. If you take a measuring device and you line it up so that it's pointing straight to the center of that basketball, and you have on that measuring device about 6 millimeters around that basket from the surface of that basketball. If you move that measuring device such that it's still pointing at the center of the basketball, all the way around the basketball, that difference is still going to be 6 millimeters all the way around the basketball. That's what a level is around that basketball.
Yeah. So anyway, so you take this straight ruler, level, whatever, you put it on top of your basketball. Then you take your tape measure, right, and you measure down from that horizontal, right, that tangent, right, yeah, you're right. You measure down, okay, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, as you keep on going, and you measure differently down to the surface, right? Awesome. Can you do that on Earth?
Yes.
You can.
Yes, that's what surveyors do.
Hold on.
Surveyors do.
Hold
You
on.
can do that.
Hold on.
You
No,
can take
no,
your
no,
tape measure and
listen.
do that on Earth. Go ahead.
No, thanks. That's on you.
Oh, that's on
That's
me.
on you because we're satisfied with our optics. If you think that somehow, if you did a physical measurement, it would be different, that's on you. Show us that it is.
Yeah.
Don't ask
Well,
us,
can
can
you
you
do-
do it? No, we can't do it. Nobody's going to do it. It's stupid.
Say
Plain
the magic
stupid.
word. Say the
I
magic
said
word.
it's plain
people.
stupid. It's
What's the
plain
magic
stupid.
word?
Okay,
Say
guys,
the
we
magic
need to
word.
one at a time.
Why can't we do this?
Who said we can't? Said we're not going
I
to.
think
It's
it was
Chai.
D-ball.
Chai, I think he asked Vivo a question. So let's do
What's the-
this. Let's
what's the
just take
que-
a
what
step
was-
back. Everybody, take a step back. Let's have this back and forth. Let's not tag team. Let's not go crazy. I gotta step away. I gotta start cooking, but I'm gonna be listening. If it goes out of control, I just shut down the show. Let's try not to do that. Let's try to stay online and have the conversation rolling. I'll be listening on my phone. So I'm gonna be listening 30 seconds behind. So if anything odd happens, I'm sorry guys, I cannot make it back on time. All right, gonna have fun, everybody. I'll be on mute. Stingray is up on presenting. Stingray, if you're gonna stop presenting, just say it in voice so I can hear and I can.
Oh
come
yeah,
in
no,
and
I'm
switch
going
the
to
screen.
stop now because this server's
Okay,
too dark
cool.
anyway. So, but I have just one question to add to the conversation for the flat earther: is what? Imagine, let's go back to the basketball idea. But imagine I've got a basketball that's got a circumference of let's say 20,000 kilometers. Now that's a pretty damn big basketball. If I said, how would you measure drop on that with me? What would you suggest?
I would suggest grabbing a tape measure.
And carry on, because this would be cool.
Yeah.
So
set a horizontal, and grab a tape measure.
Okay, and how do we set this tape measure up to be straight? I guess because distances.
You can take 5,000 foot of hose, tie it together, get a water level, take your theodolite, put it on the ground, stomp it to death, stomp on it, just stomp on that thing, right?
Nice.
And then you take a tape measure and you measure all the way from level to level. Yeah.
Okay, so that would work fine on a circle Earth. A water level would show the same elevation all the way around. So you're not really doing anything with that test.
Would it do that on a basketball as well? If I took a hose and wrapped it around a basketball?
On the surface of Earth with its own gravity?
No. Say them. Oh, there finally the magic goddamn word. Go ahead. Say it again.
Right. If you're on a surface and water, I'll go ahead and finish. If you're on a surface, I'll go ahead and finish. If you're on a surface and that water has one direction that it wants to go in, it's going to go in that direction whether there's a basketball in your hand or not. So trying to see if a water level will go around a basketball is a stupid claim.
Okay, so you can't measure the basketball curve the way you would measure Earth curve, like B-Ball said.
You can actually. There's a
you can.
When did I say that?
You said you can do it, and I'll tell you how. You take two tangents, and then you got cut off by somebody.
No, you'd make a. Do you not know what a tangent to a curved surface is?
Yep.
Okay, well that's how you would, and then you go to the end of that tangent. That's how you would, and then you measure down to the ground.
You measure how with a tape measure on the basketball, right? A ruler.
A big old stick with numbers on it.
Are you telling me that you grab like a theodolite and put it on a basketball?
Okay, here, let me hold on. Let me ask you a question. If my elevation is, let's say, 10 feet, right, and I'm looking through an auto level.
Off a basketball?
No, listen carefully. I'm looking through an auto level, right? I want you to visualize this. I'm looking through an auto level. I'm on the beach, and the crosshairs in the auto level are at 10 feet, right? So on a flat Earth, right, with the water completely level, everything that intersects with those crosshairs should be 10 feet, should it not?
He doesn't agree with that.
No, I want him to answer. Are you visualizing this on a flat Earth?
On Earth, yeah, at a beach.
Everything that intersects with those crosshairs should be at 10 feet, right? Because the water is flat and level along with the ground.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
Okay, but for some reason, when I look through that water level and those crosshairs intersect a building, it's not intersecting at 10 feet. It's intersecting at, I don't know, 80 feet.
Right.
And I know
You're the one that said everything should be at 10 feet.
Hold on. And I know that the building is not at a lower elevation, right? So something else has to be going on.
It could be.
No, because the building is on the beach.
Oh, is it on the edge of the shore? So I can't have a lake on a slant. I guess not. Yeah.
No, I don't think you can have a lake on a slant, man.
A lake?
Yeah,
or is this a beach? Oh, a bay? Yeah, you can't have a bay on a slant. Yeah.
One beach to another beach.
To the beach. Yeah, the beach.
Yeah, he's on a beach. He's looking at a building that's on a beach.
They're both on the same beach. Okay.
I mean, they're both on the beach that's connected to the same body of water.
Yes. One is 15 miles away.
Away to your, I mean, are you looking across the water?
Yes, I'm looking across the water.
Oh. Okay, yeah. All right, you're looking across the water.
But for some reason, those crosshairs are hitting well above 10 feet.
Yeah, you're the one who told me that everything at those crosshairs is 10 feet. I don't know. I mean, that's
It
what you
should
said.
be on a flat Earth, right? The water's flat and level, right?
Yeah,
Water's flat and level.
Yeah,
So
of
what's
course it
going
is.
on there? Why are the crosshairs hitting well above 10 feet?
I mean, at what distance does it start hitting well above 10 feet?
Let's say 15. Let's say 15 miles.
Oh, what do you use a theodolite at 15 miles for?
Why not?
Practically.
I mean, we're doing it right now. We're seeing how far that horizontal reference, how far objects have dropped with respect to that horizontal reference.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. Well, you can't do anything other than this with it. Is there anything else you can do with it?
That's what we're doing with it. We're making a measurement.
What else can you do with
how
it?
far
Yeah.
We're seeing how far objects have dropped from a horizontal reference.
Oh, okay. And you can do that on a basketball.
Sure, if you have a really tiny theodolite, sure.
Yeah. And you'd probably you think you'd get the same thing on a little tiny
You would see
theodolite.
as the theodolite is mounted on the surface of that basketball, a difference with respect to horizontal, with respect to distance.
Sure. So what are you saying, B-Ball?
Drop from horizontal with respect to distance.
I see. Exists when you look through a theodolite only. This is the only. This is the. That's what I said. The globe is boring. So this is the globe. The globe is an observation, 15 plus miles through a theodolite. That is the globe. That is all. Not
just
What we
theodolite.
want to see is the drop with respect to distance. The best way to see that is to have more distance. There's more drop with more distance.
I would say if you need like closer observations, right? If you want to have like get like a really go out in the rain, maybe like a really humid day, and you could probably get the Earth that you're looking for from like 5 miles. You know.
Okay, that's a nice positive
Well,
thing.
you said
that you're not gonna back up.
You said with theodolites, and you don't have to be theodolites. Camera is fine.
No, a camera's not exactly fine. But...
Nah, I'll show you.
Yeah.
I'm talking.
A camera won't show you the precise angular measure with respect to horizontal, but it will show you where objects are relative to other objects at different distances.
Yeah, through a theodolite, yeah.
No,
right.
no
I got
theodolite.
you. I hear you.
No theodolite. No theodolite.
Yeah, there's no theodolite here.
Through a camera, through a lens, over a long distance. I hear you, yeah.
Camera.
Right, through a camera, through a lens, anywhere.
Yeah,
for long distance.
that's how optics works. We need lenses.
There you go. That's how optics work. I hear
works.
it, yeah. That's how optics work, yeah.
Right. So I identified 3 different 1200 elevation points at the distance.
Yeah.
With
So if I
respect
said
to the object, with respect to the object, and we see that even though the observer is at 1200 feet, he's looking at different angles at those 3 different same elevation to him. So I don't need no theodolite. Just by knowing the sizes of the objects in the picture, I can do it.
Yeah. How many black swan observations?
Address this picture. Others, I don't care about black swans now.
Right.
Yeah, how many black
making an
swans
observation
make,
right now.
59 Earth.
Well, we're making an observation right now that already shows you that the surface of the Earth cannot be flat. If we're going to talk about the black swan, we have to talk about the thing I brought up earlier, which is why every single observation that you guys put forward, like the black swan, we find meteorological data that supports our idea. The surface is cold and the air is warm, causing looming.
Yeah. Yeah. So the object that is only should only be 1.22 miles away comes all the way up. You know, at 10 miles away.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
That was false to begin with.
I think it was
Yeah.
Chike.
That was
Right
false
now,
off the face of it. 1.22 assumes no atmosphere.
Right. And in addition, the horizon isn't actually 10 miles away. If you look at that distant platform, you'll see that the boat deck is gone because it's behind the water. Why?
You mean the boat that's between the two platforms?
No, the boat deck of the distant platform. It's gone. Why?
You're talking about the little boat that's well beyond the two platforms, right in the middle of those two platforms.
It's not beyond the two platforms. It's between the two.
Oh, it's not?
Yeah.
Right
the
between the
distant
two?
platform. The distant platform. The boat deck is gone. Why?
Right between the two. Why can you see something 10 miles away from 1 foot off the ground with an Earth that's claimed to curve only 1 mile away?
Because it's refraction, dude. It's called refraction.
So you believe that you're seeing an object, not what is that, 9 times further, 10 miles
It's
away.
called refraction. That's what,
Yeah,
that's what
8 times
refraction
further.
does.
Yeah, we'll clear up
And
one
it-
more little misconception that you guys like to share amongst yourselves. It's not that the horizon moved 9 times farther away. It's that the surface of the Earth at that distance moved up less than 0.1 degrees. That much of a change, which is a very small change, is very easy to have in our atmosphere.
Yeah, so the atmosphere is optical, not physical. I hear you. Therefore, any claims of ever
atmosphere is optical?
measure that way.
You want to
Any
rethink
claims
that
of
statement?
any claims of ever.
Because the conditions that were over the water made it possible for us to see that far. That's why the black swan is the black swan.
Yeah, so any claims of measuring the curvature of the Earth or the size of the Earth from the surface of the Earth or the horizon through the horizon are just optical.
Here's a question.
not
How come we
physical.
don't get those same effects everywhere on the Earth? How come any of the pictures that I've taken, I don't see the bottom of those hotels. I've never ever seen the bottom of them.
Yeah, where
If the Earth is flat. If the Earth is flat.
Yeah, if there's somewhere
Let me
like
ask you a question.
if there's somewhere where there's a lot of humidity, like I don't know, like Florida or where is there another beach?
California.
Virginia's not
Let me ask-
bad. Yeah.
Let me ask this
like,
question. If the Earth is flat, how does the horizon
Staten Island.
ever appear in front of
Staten
any
Island.
distant object? How can that ever happen?
How can an
If
optical
the Earth is
horizon
flat.
appear?
How does the horizon ever obscure anything in the distance if the Earth is flat? How
So
does
if I
the
have-
horizon
if I-
ever be in front of any object?
So if I
It
were
can't
to,
be.
so you're asking me how if my house was empty of all furniture, and I laid a camera flat on the ground, and then turned on the fog machine, you're telling me how could the horizon ever?
No,
ever
You don't
be
see the
where
fog.
wall-
No,
You don't
that's
see
a-
fog.
that's not
You
That's a
don't
very
see
simple
fog.
question. If the Earth is flat, how does a horizon ever appear in front of any distant object on a flat
Yeah, to be
Earth?
very clear, we're
It
not seeing
cannot
fog
happen.
in the way. We're seeing the surface of the Earth is getting in the way, not fog. Thanks for the distraction.
Well,
Yeah. So how? So you're.
what I was
you're
going to say,
why-
I'll
why-
not say that for.
Wait, hold on. He was going to answer. Go ahead. No tanks.
Yeah. So why, when I turn the fog machine on in the house, can't I see the far wall with the camera sitting on the ground?
And no one was talking about fog.
Nobody
Not
was talking
fog.
about your house with one small room full of fog. What we're asking you is, why is there a horizon for Earth? There should never be a horizon for Earth. You should just see until you can't see anymore.
Tersh, you might be blown
Right.
up.
Right. So why? Yeah. So why, as you look through more and more and more and more and more and more and more atmosphere, can't you see? Just because
Yeah, we
of
don't
what
see
I
the
just said.
atmosphere in the way. It's not the atmosphere that's in the way. We see the surface of the Earth. We don't see some nebulous cloud in front of the distant object. We see the Earth in the way.
You don't see the Earth in the way.
You see water in the way. Water in the way.
Never mind the water. Just say, for instance, you're looking from where you are, across a salt flat, and then you climb a mountain. You can see so far across a salt flat, and then you climb a mountain. You climb up 3,000 feet. Why can you see farther when you climb a mountain when it's obviously farther away than when you were on the body ground if the Earth is flat. Why can you see farther when you climb a mountain than on the ground? If the Earth is flat, you would see exactly the same distance. Your eyes would only focus the same distance. The only reason you can see farther is because there's a curve and you're seeing over the curve when you climb a mountain that you can't see when you're standing flat on the ground.
Yeah. I understand your optical argument for a globe. So the globe is just optics. Yeah, it's not that interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not optics. It's to do with how far you can see with your eye. You can only see like what 10 miles. No, and then everything fades out. So how come when you climb a mountain you can see further than 10 miles? What's going on there with your eyes? You know, come on.
That was not a rebuttal. That was only denial. What you just did.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, all right. It's because it's a half hour of going into how come we can see the curve of the Earth from 15 plus miles away. I hear you. I'm told you why. Because this is how it is, man. You got atmosphere.
Right.
You got all these.
But when
things
you
in
say
play that
it's just
I don't like
optics,
repeating.
or that's how God did it, which is what you did earlier, then it's not. You're not addressing the issue. You're just appealing to some unknown thing that you think is true.
No, it's known, right? And what you're interpreting as Earth curve is just optical. Is just optics. Yeah, and it's confirmed.
We're not
by
interpreting.
Could you explain
Look.
how optics could be what causes us to see the surface of the Earth
Look,
instead of the distant object?
If I see water, if I see water in front of an object, I know I see water in front of the object. I know it's water. I know when it's water and when it's not water.
Yeah, how big are these waves out there on this calm ocean? I don't know, man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, great. How is that going to help you?
You talking about the picture I just posted? I'll post a video for you, and you can look at the waves. They're almost nothing. That is a flat ocean.
Yeah. So you're asking me, like, so we're doing little baby experiments, right? So how big does my finger need to be in front of my face to block everything in the distance?
Well,
right?
if your finger is higher than your eyeball, then yeah. If your finger is above your eyeball, then yeah, of course. But the water's not above your eyeball, isn't it? The water's below your feet.
Right. So how are small things in the foreground blocking big things in the distance, just like that, just like every interpretable reality?
So let's go through that. Let's go through that line of thinking real quick with Earth is Life's earlier post, where he has his auto level at 10 feet, pointing at something that's clearly 80 feet or so in elevation. If it's the waves, your waves would have to be larger than 10 feet in order to cause that.
All right, well then there you go. You got your answer to 10-foot wave.
Right. Right. So are you sure that on that day those waves were larger than 10 feet? Sounds like some pretty badass waves out there in the middle of those two buildings. Or those
you think 10-foot waves are? You think 10-foot waves are like high waves, like really high waves? Maybe.
At that distance, yes. Because it's not at the shore. These waves that you say are in the way are in between the two buildings, not at either shore.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have a multi. So this is not a meme, right? This is like real life, right? So you got atmosphere, right? You got all the things that go along with that. You got the moving water. You got things in the foreground, right? All these things combined. Yeah.
The only thing the atmosphere does, it make it a little bit hard, maybe not as clear on certain days. It doesn't make the water come up and block half of a building.
Right.
Okay. So then the black swan is valid then. Gotcha.
No.
No.
Again, you're ignoring refraction in the black swan.
Right. If you say it could be caused by the atmosphere, could you go into more detail?
Sure, then you could say, well, the water was this temperature and the air was this temperature, and that's why we got this effect.
Oh, refraction.
Yeah, so you'll get the same effect, right? And then and all I'm telling you, very simply, very plainly, is that you can go out and measure with a tape measure and verify that what you're seeing is an optical distortion.
Right. When you go to the place where you're trying to measure an elevation, you'll measure the elevation. That's interesting. in
Yep.
in nobody's particular
And that's
opinions
just as
find
simple
truth.
as
because
that simple, man.
in both a flat Earth and a spherical Earth, that would hold true. Where it becomes different is when you look at something in the distance. And we have observations here where if you're looking in the distance, drop from horizontal is easily observed.
Why on a curve? What was that magic word that makes this again on a spherical Earth? Why is it true? I can't remember. What's that magical word?
What's the problem
There's no
with
magical
gravity?
words used
Quit
here.
being a twat, will you?
What's that magical word?
He's trying to
Hey,
change the
you're being a
subject. to
dipshit.
gravity.
Stop it.
He's
man.
trying to change
We
the
don't
subject
need
to
that
gravity.
crap. Just
I'm
like
trying to
gravity.
change the
Get it
subject.
over with.
There we go. Say gravity. Yeah, exactly. So you're
Yeah,
just
well,
saying
we're not on that
we
subject,
can't.
Good. Don't
All right.
play that bullshit game with us again, okay?
I'm gonna do it again and again. So your claim,
I'll mute your
I mean,
ass.
do what you got to do, man. I mean, that's your shit claim is that you can't measure the curve of the Earth because of gravity. That's your
No,
claim.
that's not true.
Who
That is
said
not
that?
the
Yeah,
way.
and if you want
Our
to
actual claim is
if you want
that
to
we
mute
can
me
make
for
these.
saying it, then do so. Then do it, and
Okay,
I'll roll
all
out.
right. Yeah, I know. I understand. We're already doing that. We're demonstrating that to you. We're not saying we can't measure the surface of the Earth, its curvature, due to gravity. Nobody here made that claim. You made that claim for us. What we said is that you can make these long distance observations and see drop with respect to distance, drop from horizontal with respect to distance. We're showing you those observations, and you're saying our position is something that it isn't. Who's
I'm
being
saying
dishonest in this conversation?
I'm saying you guys. Yeah, you won't say you won't say the word gravity. You wouldn't say the word shadow earlier.
That's why are you talking about gravity? That's a totally different subject.
Right, we're
It's
totally
not
not
the
using
subject,
gravity to observe drop from horizontal with respect to distance. Gravity's not.
Well,
involved
when I say to
the
you, why
plumb
can't you just
bobs.
go up and measure it? You're saying, well, that would hold true on a spherical Earth and a flat Earth, as long as a spherical Earth has gravity.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Got it. Gravity.
If we're on a spherical
there you
Earth
go.
and down is toward the surface of the Earth,
Right?
or if we're on a flat Earth and down is toward the surface of the Earth, do you see how you didn't make anything any more clear by just being a pedantic little whatever you are?
Right. But do you yet see that your conception of a spherical Earth creates things like gravity to explain away why we can't measure the curve of the supposed Earth?
Oh, we can't. You
No.
keep saying that.
No,
but
there
we-
you go
we-
again.
we-
You lied
we keep-
again. It's not
we
that our
keep-
position is we cannot measure the curvature due to gravity. That's not our position. That's a position you made up for us. Don't do that again. Don't lie about our position.
Also, don't say it like gravity was invented as a cop-out. Do not answer that specific question, because that doesn't make any sense.
Do you need gravity if the Earth is planar in nature?
Hello, I'm Neil.
Yeah, I mean,
would there
you have to
not be
have
gravity
objects
on flat
falling.
Earth?
Yeah, you have to have objects falling. Ideally, that's gravitation.
Oh, is that
I
what
got a question. I got a quick question for no thanks. Slightly off topic, but still, it is pertinent to, so we can move on a little bit to in the conversation. I got a question right here. Hold on, I'm scrolling.
Good, do it, because I'm extremely bored with this conversation. I'm
I
sorry,
know, man. Yeah, I got you a great question, man.
Hook me up.
Okay. How do you know how far away from the Earth the sun is?
No, I don't. No, not yet.
No idea. Do you
No, I
haven't
got
heard
ideas.
anybody? Do you have ideas? Do you want to
yeah, we have-
speculate, and we don't have to hold you, no citation, because it's just speculation. It's just kind of pulled out of the ass. If you got an idea you want to share it, that's good to talk about the idea, and maybe we can, clarify it and maybe make it a reality. Tell us, how far do you think the sun is?
Well, see, this is the thing. I don't want to speak because it's not my work, right? So all the calculations, and there have been some calculation measurements done, right? But where I get this information is from another Discord server called That Flat Earth, and that's probably where I'm going to head over right now. I think DP's over there, and Cleary might be there.
The one you're not DP. Oh God, really? That's who you're getting your information from.
But
That's a
okay.
great story.
So yeah, he got. So what is your idea? How far do you think it is? Yeah, you got the
Well,
information.
again, it's not. I'm just kind of looking at the numbers and the calculations over there that they got worked out. But yeah, it looks like they're coming up with a good a good calculation for that. Yeah.
What is it? What is the good what is the number? Calculation?
Well, I don't want to speak to it right now, but it all. I mean, obviously the calculations of the globe are all dependent on the size of the sun, the distance of the sun, which nobody has gone to and verified. Right?
We're not gonna know. We're not gonna have a number today. We're not gonna have the.
How are you going to verify
It's not-
their calculations, though?
Not my
To know
number.
if you're right.
I would feel guilty saying it.
You're just going to go with it. Whenever they give you a number, you're just going to go with it.
No,
Is that what I said? Is that what I said when I said?
I don't know.
the
How are you going to
exact
verify it?
No,
Is that
it's
what
all
I
right.
said when I
It's
said
all
the
right,
exact
guys.
opposite?
I understand it's speculation. It's something that like, let's say I imagine that the moon is 25 miles away. That's it. It's my speculation. You can't know how I mean, you can talk about it, and I tell you how did I arrive to the conclusion that the moon is 25 miles away. But I'm gonna tell you I arrived to the conclusion that the sun is 93 million miles away. Do you agree or disagree with that? No, thanks.
Well, I would
Roughly 93 million miles
disagree,
away.
That all depends on the size that they determine the sun is. So it depends on the size.
Do you got an idea? Do you got a different number than 93 million miles away? That you wanna share with us?
Yeah, here in America, right, in the northern hemisphere, right, the sun rise is at the zero horizontal. At the same time, it's noon in Africa, which is 8,000 miles away. And if the Earth is a globe, and a person has 6 foot elevation would view an apparent sunset, right, the sun would apparently set at 3 miles away from them, right?
93 million miles away.
No, it would set
Up.
on the
He
water,
adds up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it would
it's
set.
93 million miles away.
Well, so,
Unless you got
so
a
with the
different number, unless you got a different,
What do you mean by set 3 miles away? What do you mean by that? You mean the horizon
it would
is 3 miles away?
It would appear to set 3 miles away.
Do you mean the sun is? You think the sun is 3 miles away at that point?
Is that what you said? I just said appears to set 3 miles away from a 6 foot observer.
But it actually is 93 million miles away. Thank you very much. Welcome to the globe.
Right. And while it's while it's setting in one place, it's 8,000 miles away over Africa. Right?
Yeah, no thanks. Wait, hold on.
That's where they have their
no thanks.
solar noon.
No thanks. You said something. I find it. Forgive me, I'm a bit skeptic. But DP did any calculation in his entire life. So
he's math illiterate.
If you don't mind, next time bring those calculations. I'd like to see them.
Yeah, DP is mathematically illiterate.
Yeah, I'd be like stealing. I don't want to steal. They're over on that flat Earth Discord.
I don't care. You said that they do. They have pretty good calculations. I just want to see them. That's all.
So is the sun 3 miles away, 93 miles away, or 93 million miles?
He's not gonna
away?
give us a. He's not gonna give us a number.
According to the globe, it sets on the horizon at about 3 miles away from 6 foot observer's height.
So in Africa, the sun is only 3 miles away. Is that what you're saying?
It's all right. He don't want to talk about the flat Earth. He want to keep talking about the globe because they're all globers. All the flat Earthers are globers. That's all they want to talk about. They don't want to talk about what they think and the way their paradigm, their way of living, the point of views, what is in their mind.
Just
They don't want to say
thinking,
none of that.
Jose, I was just thinking maybe that's why Africa is so dry. You know what I mean? Why there's so much desert in North Africa. Maybe the sun is only 3 miles away from Africa.
And I got it laid down. I got it laid back because if I keep saying that they have nothing for flat Earth and they only want to talk about the globe because of whatever reason, I gotta chill out because they will leave. They won't come to talk to us because they have nothing for flat Earth, even though they're saying that the globe is wrong. Because they don't understand the globe. It's a little bit mind-blowing. I go back to cooking. I can believe that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you,
The beef
Jose,
stew?
in a way, because this is the thing, right? So the flat Earth is just a horizontal Earth, right? And any measurement of a globe is just a drop from horizontal. So once you debunk the globe, it defaults back to the antecedent of a flat Earth. There's no reason to discuss
You guys
it. Talk
haven't.
about it. Yeah.
But the problem is we keep showing you drop from horizontal.
Yeah, optically over 20 miles through a theodolite. Some guy made with a lens.
We're showing you drop from horizontal. It shouldn't
Right.
drop at all on a flat Earth,
Yeah.
right?
And your excuse thus far is it's optical, but not explaining the mechanism or how that drop definitely does appear to us at that distance.
Yeah, so what you're doing is you're saying, look how big the sun is, right? Look through these binoculars. Look how big the moon is. And I'm like, wow, it's huge. And then I turn the binoculars upside down, right? And I look through the other end. I'm like, man, that moon is tiny. And you're telling me you measured the Earth that
Yeah, we're not telling you that's how we measured the Earth, but thanks for the mischaracterization.
Hold on, real
Yeah.
quick. Let's do
I'm
this real
saying
quick.
that's great. I'm saying that's great. Grow up, grab a tape measure, grab some reality, grab some like horizontal, the understanding of horizontal.
You
and vertical.
do it.
Hold on,
You
hold on,
do
hold
it.
on.
Why me?
Hold on.
You.
So let's say
Oh, yeah.
let's say the moon. Let's go back to the moon real quick.
I don't believe the
Earth is
binoculars
live
in
is
front of
trying to
Earth.
talk. Earth is live. We've been trying to talk, and everybody keep cutting in front of
All
him.
right. My bad, my
sorry, go
bad.
ahead.
So let's go to the moon real quick. Let's just talk about this. So let's say the moon is a lot closer and a lot smaller than we've been told, right? That's kind of what you guys believe, right? That it's a lot
It is when I
smaller and
zoom in.
closer. Okay, so let's say the moon is a lot closer to the Earth, right? And let's say I'm looking at it, and I'm in California, and I'm looking east, and I see the moon just on the horizon, right? Or just above the horizon. Does that mean so if someone in, I don't know, let's say someone in Great Britain is looking at the moon, and they're looking west, don't you think that the person in Great Britain will be seeing the back of the moon?
I'll have to get a map out, man. But we all see the same face of the moon. There's one face of the moon.
Now which model? Think about this for a second, right? I'm in California, looking east.
I thought you said you were in. I thought you said you were in Wildwood.
No, let's just theoretically. I'm in California. It's nighttime. I'm looking at the moon. I'm looking east. Someone in Great Britain is looking at the moon, but they're looking west. One of us is going to see the back of the moon, don't you think?
No, we're going to see the single face of the moon.
Why not? Why wouldn't one of us see the back of the moon?
Why wouldn't one of us see the back of the moon? Nobody's ever seen the back of the moon. There's one face of the moon.
That doesn't answer the question.
Doesn't answer the question, though. I'm looking east. The moon is a lot smaller and a lot closer to the Earth than we've been told. I'm looking east from California, looking at the moon. I see the same face of the moon everyone else sees. Someone in Great Britain is looking west, and they're seeing the moon too. Why are they not seeing the back of the moon?
Because the moon has only one face.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah, you're
If we put the moon,
you're
let's say
telling me that the moon is not a spherical object. I hear you loud and clear. What else do you want? What do you want me to say?
now, let's put the moon really far away. Let's put the moon really far away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're both looking. Now I'm looking. We're both looking at the moon.
Okay.
Does that kind of start to make sense to you? Why we both see the same side of the moon?
Yeah, I understand your conception of why the sun and moon are the same size. Why the moon is tidally locked.
I didn't say the sun. I didn't say the sun. I didn't say anything about tidally locked. I said two observers on the surface of the Earth looking at the moon. On a flat Earth, if I'm looking west, if I'm looking east at the moon, I see the face of the moon. Someone in Great Britain looking west sees the same face of the moon. How is that possible?
Well, tell me, what is the moon first? What are we looking at the moon?
Nothing to do with what the moon is. Has nothing to do with what the moon is. No, it doesn't. Absolutely nothing to do with the moon.
So the moon
you know what? Let's do this. Let's take it to a giant room, right? In the center of the room, there's a ball taped to the ceiling, right? A spherical ball. We're both standing directly below it, right? One side is blue and one side is red. So if we're standing next to each other, we both look up, we both see red and a blue ball, right? It's the one side's blue, one side's red. Can you visualize that for a second?
Right.
We're both looking. Now, I move to one side of the room. My partner moves to the other side of the room. And we're both looking at that same sphere, but only on my side, I only see the red side, and the other person sees the blue side.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
Okay, now think about that with a small and local moon on a flat Earth. One of us will be seeing the back of the moon.
Nobody sees the back of the moon. Yeah, I hear you.
No, exactly. Nobody sees the back of the moon.
Right.
So the moon, that must mean the moon must be really far away. That means all of us always see the same side.
Right. But you have a predetermined idea of what the moon is that you're seeing. Yeah.
It doesn't
You're
matter
saying-
what the moon is. It means this is just talking about the distance. That it has to be really far away for everyone on Earth to always see the same side.
How big is Earth? How far is Earth? How far is
There's nothing to do. Oh, we weren't talking about the size of the Earth or anything. Just talking about the distance of the moon.
Right.
And if
one guy in the UK, one guy in the UK, one guy in California. How far apart are these two places? Right? Are you going to draw a triangle? Is that what you're going to do? Because I saw a glober do that once, and
they could do that. You could do that.
Yeah, they calculated. I think they calculated the moon to be 3,000 miles away. Yikes!
Yeah.
So is that all you want to tell me? You want to tell me that the moon is 3,000? Are you trying to answer Jose's question, and you're trying to put forth the idea that the moon is 3,000 miles away?
Do you think it's that far away?
I mean, that's what you're telling me. Should I believe you?
I didn't say that, but do you think it's that far away? Because that makes it even worse. If you say it's 3,000 miles away, that makes it even worse.
Is that what you calculated?
Because now someone really should see the back of the moon.
According to it being what? Because you hung a spherical ball on the ceiling.
I don't know. Right now, if it's anything other than a sphere, then guess what? If we start moving away from it, it's going to start looking like an oval.
Is it?
Hello, I'm Liam.
How far away would you have to move?
You're not going to argue that the moon is not a physical object.
I'm not. I don't know. A b-ball's doing it for me. I don't have to.
No. I'm asking you. You're not going to argue that the moon is not an actual object, a physical object.
I did that earlier.
Everyone here agrees that it is.
Well, I mean, he agrees that it is. He agrees that it must be a bunch of things if all of these things are happening. Yeah.
What I'm explaining is that there's no way for the moon to be small, to be local. It has to be far away, because if it was local, then people on Earth would be seeing the back of the moon.
Can I holler for 30 seconds? Shout out to everybody watching in YouTube land and in Discord. I appreciate everybody. I got two people touch my pee over here. We got Thurs with the note with like $5 Thurs, 531. Thurs says, hey, I'm gonna read this the best of my abilities. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon 'cause it's really close. Thurs with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Thurs. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, mate.
And we got also Doofus Manfred. Doofus, did you touch my pee-pee? Thank you, brother. Thank you very much, man. And I got a note over here for $5. Doofus says, unquote, grow up, pretend optics is unknown, pull a tape measure multiple miles away, or the earth is flat. No thanks. No thanks. Is that what you think, man? If you cannot pull a measuring tape miles away from the earth is flat? Damn. Shout out, guys. Thank you for the support.
Thanks, man. I really like you, Jose. I stick around because I just like your personality. I think you're a good person, and I stick around here because I want you to get these. I want you to get these super chats. Not because I want you to succeed, but I want this conversation to succeed. And it's a good conversation to have. But yeah, the Earth itself is measured, tested, practically used as horizontal, non-moving, non-rotating, flat, level, stationary Earth. I mean, that's how it's used. This globe conception is just a concept, right? Like people was putting forward earlier.
Can we say that you are shilling for a good cause?
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get any NASA money, but I'm wondering where all these flat Earth people get their money from. They all seem to have enough money to live, and you know, where are you shilling? Who are you shilling for? Who's paying you? You know, NASA doesn't give me any money. Right? Who's giving you money? Flat Earthers.
Uber.
Well, I mean, in regards to the flat Earth, I mean, I have a very, very successful, extremely successful. I call it Zuber company, where I drive people around for money, and I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'm doing okay as well, but I just don't get any NASA money that you keep saying. But you know,
a quick clarification: we never got we never get a number, right? For the distance to the sun from Notank's perspective, not on the globe, but from your perspective, we never get a number, right? A distance.
No, I'd have to go to Discord. I can share it over here if you want, and then you can just check the archives there and see what the numbers are.
But it's a mathematical equation. It's not an actual number like we can say 93 million miles away. You're gonna have an equation. You're gonna say if you are in this at this height at this distance and you see this and that, then you put all that information together and you get your own number from specific location, or is it a set number that we can analyze?
No, it's a set number. Another person, if you get you a really great number, is Shane St. Pierre. Give him a little shout out. He has a great channel called Anti-Disinformation. Yeah, Anti-Disinformation. Yeah. So you can find him on a lot of these as well. YouTube.
Yeah, I had a conversation with him.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, right?
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
It's actually not about the. It's not actually about the people. It's actually about the information given by the.
Yeah. He's a nice guy. I like him, but he's not a person to be going for information about the globe.
Well, no, he has a lot of information. He has a lot of categorized information archived and organized.
He has information he's taken from other flat earthers. That's it.
I mean, I don't have to like Shaik to know that Shaik has good information, you know?
Yeah, but it has to be the source of the information. Right? I mean, it could be from anybody, right? But where is he getting his information? He's getting it from other flat earthers.
Shout out to Shaik. I'm going back to cooking.
Is it Shaik or Chaik? I always call him Chaiki.
Chaiki.
Yeah, Chaiki or Shaik, or Chike, whatever.
Yeah, but Sheikh lives in Europe like me, so everything's much smaller in Europe. So I guess the sun and the moon are much smaller here as well. And maybe, who is it? No Tanks, you're in America, and the moon and the sun look much bigger there, you know what I mean? But they probably still sink 3 miles away. Is that it? 3 miles, that's when the things hit the Earth?
Yeah, so a lot of what is modeled out as physical objects and angular size changes, etc., are optically affected through lensing effects of the atmosphere, the temperature gradients of the atmosphere, right? The viewing apparatus, things like that, and what the globe is. I don't want to have this sound like a derogatory term, but it is a hijacking of perspective along with these magnification effects. And then drawn conceptually as physical objects that must be doing this, that, and the third.
Spoken like a true flat Earth parrot.
No, I think we're onto something here. So, like in America, because the moon and the sun look bigger out there, right? So, does it sink farther away than in Europe? And I think you were saying that in Africa, it looks like it's 3 miles away. In America, is it 10 miles away? And in Europe, is it like 7 miles away? I mean, is it because of where we are, we see things different? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that the reflection on the sky that we're measuring, calling the sun, the moon, the stars, these reflective objects in the sky, right? Like the same thing with the southern star trails. Why are the southern star trails making smaller concentric circle than the northern star trails?
They don't.
Oh, they don't. They do. Mainstream says they do. Oh, okay.
No, what? They don't.
Who says that?
Yeah, the entire celestial sphere has one uniform motion. All of the stars in any location at any declination make whatever size circle they're going to make for that declination. Nobody says star trails in the south make smaller circles.
So you're talking about the meme has the same thing, or reality has the same size circle?
Reality has, for any star at any given declination, the size circle that it will have for that declination. There's no smaller star trails in the south than there are in the north, in reality.
Yeah, so you view the star trails, right from the equator, right? And you can you take them and overlay it, and there's smaller concentric circles in southern star trails than the northern star trails. It is what it is.
Okay.
The
I would
meme
like
may say
to see
differently.
that. I would like to see that though.
Look it up.
Okay. Look it up is not support for your position. We're going to go ahead and conclude that you don't have support for your position.
I think what he's misinterpreting is that there's more, like, if you look at the southern star trails, there's not many stars, like, at the center of it. Maybe that's where he's getting this.
There's no.
Well, no, because he said they make smaller circles in the south, and I've never seen that.
You could go on Shane St. Pierre's anti-disinformation channel and
Yeah,
find
not again, not a good source of information.
it. You could go on that Flat Earth Discord channel.
No, I don't know. We don't go on there. Not good places for information about if you're trying to find out whether the Earth is a globe or not.
The Earth is not a globe. I mean,
Okay, well,
nobody uses it as a globe.
You've already you've already determined that. But how did you actually determine that? Did you determine that yourself?
No
Or
thanks.
did you, go
We
ahead.
consider that Shane and Discord service and other people that talk among themselves propaganda for Flat Earth, but there's no necessarily information. That's why that's why the globe side consider those places just Flat Earth propaganda without anything to back up their claims.
Well, I was just going to say, if I was to come and say, well,
let me hear no thanks, because that comment was from him. Why he thinks?
We would never do the same thing to you, Jose. I mean, I would never. The easiest way to debunk the globe is go look for evidence of the globe and go right to your sources. I mean, it's all over the.
But I have heard 100% of all the flat earthers saying that the globe is propaganda, and everything talk about the globe is propaganda. That's the way we see the flat Earth. We see the flat Earth as just propaganda, misinformation, and things not true and not backed up by anything. That's the way we see it.
It's backed up. Well, this is this is one small piece of reality that's backed up by. Right. So, in order to believe that you live on a globe, right? So on Earth, anywhere on Earth, like any person can do this, right? You can mark a center point, right? And then you can point in a direction. I don't know. Let's say north, right? And you can start walking north. You're never going to end up back where you started if you stay in a straight line heading north. Yes, I'm positive.
How do you know? Have you tried? Have you tried that?
Right. So nobody's ever done that, right?
Well, right. We've had airplanes do that though.
Yeah, people have actually done that.
Okay.
Yeah, they've done it in boats. They've done it in airplanes.
People have that. No, people have actually.
You
if you let me finish, people have actually circumnavigated the globe pole to pole. It's been done. People in ships. They've done
propaganda. You shouldn't even look at it as propaganda.
See, this is what I'm saying, right? As soon as I say something, it's propaganda, but then you come and you say, well, anything that I talk about on Flat Earth is the truth. But anything you can find on the internet, that's propaganda. But anything I can find to support my position, well, that's truth. But
I'm just warning everybody out there, don't even look at it. It's lies, it's propaganda, it's the devil. Circumnavigation is the devil. Right. So, but in reality, you can't walk. Nobody can. Right. So I'd have to believe that I'm standing in the grocery store. If I point north, right, walking a straight line, I'll come back right where I started. Nobody can do it. Nobody can independently do this. Right. But we should believe. But this is the part. This wraps it up. But we should believe it. If the Earth is a globe, we should believe that that's what happens. But everywhere I go, if I want to turn in a circle and I come back where I started, I got to turn in a circle. There's nowhere. No way, nothing on Earth where I can walk in a straight line and end up back where I started. There's no evidence of it. And every evidence of somebody ever doing such a thing, it's an evidence of somebody walking in a circle.
Right. Literally, that is an argument from incredulity. Or an argument.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
From incredulity. No, not at all.
Because you haven't done it, therefore it must be impossible.
Nobody can do it. The reason.
Well, obviously, there's water, right? Is there not water on the Earth? They'd have to swim at some point. They'd have to swim.
Right. So nobody has done it. My argument is nobody has done it because you can't do it. That concept, that idea.
They've done it in an airplane.
Is silly.
Right. In 2019, there was a record set for it.
They have not.
Well, okay, that's denial. Great. I'm glad we're moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, you have evidence of what? Somebody went north.
Yeah,
an
yeah.
airplane?
There's it's been very documented, right? Live streamed.
Right, and then
They went north. They went north in an airplane. Then what happened?
And
Well,
they
they-
went
they-
around. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they went north up around North Pole, south, down past the South Pole, and back up north again.
Oh, I saw that one. That's the one where they stopped and turned around, and came back up. Yeah. They didn't come back up on
Stopped
the other
and
side.
turned around.
Yeah.
Who has evidence that they stopped and turned around?
The map that they put forward says they
the
turned around.
The Mercator projection that they released.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it says they turned around.
If you draw
they
a
didn't go,
circle,
they didn't go around.
Yeah, if you draw a circle on a Mercator projection, I hope you're aware that that doesn't actually represent that they took that circle. It's a projection. There's distortion involved. You're aware of that, correct?
That
No.
your map is distorted, I guess.
No thanks. Do you think that the sun go through portals east to west and west to east and keep flipping around in the infinite portal?
That's what you have to. That's what you. So that's what I'm saying. That's what you have to believe. If you believe you're on a globe.
No.
Yeah,
if
you
you
are going
believe
around.
that, a square flat map that you see on your screen is accurate, that's what you have to believe. We don't believe that the Earth is a square flat map. We believe that we know that the Earth is a globe. It's spherical. It works.
With
like that.
longitude and latitude, right? Two-dimensional globe. But yeah, Jose, it's getting late. You got made some money or something. But yeah, I'm gonna go back. I'll try to get that information for you guys about the distance to the sun. It's over on that Flat Earth Discord server. If you want me to drop a link, just ask me and I'll do it. But you say no, propaganda. I know.
Throw a link in the Daily One sensor before you get out of here, and thank you for coming. I'm gonna step away. You guys can stay in the floor. I got in the background the mission of the ISS coming back to Earth. I got it in the background playing there.
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah.
I'll be
Later,
back
guys.
shortly.
But I'm just saying,
So-
like, if you want to know about navigating the Earth from pole to pole, Magellan, back in 1519 to 1522, first person to circumnavigate the Earth from north to south, Magellan. I mean, the 16th century. Yeah.
Yeah, I found it interesting due to our departed friend No Tanks as he left. But we didn't get any support for his position that star trails in the southern sky are smaller than the ones in the northern sky. Found that curious that he didn't have support for that argument. I found it curious that he didn't have support for drop due to horizontal occurs because of the lenses or because of the atmosphere. He couldn't seem to make up his mind.
I don't think I don't think you'll find any flat earther who ever provide any evidence for anything they say on any forum you ever meet them on, even their own forums. As soon as you challenge them and ask them for evidence or proof or can you tell me where to find that information, they'll just kick you.
I want to ask, I don't know, I mean, there's still a bunch of people here, but Blue, I don't know if you're available to talk for a minute.
Yeah, what's up, Jose?
It was getting you aggravated, this guy, his tactics, his approach. What do you think about this guy? No,
I don't like that. The guy doesn't believe in gravity, but don't play that bullshit, childish game of trying to get one of us just to say the fucking word. Christ Almighty, dude, grow some balls and say gravity. Okay, you can say I hate gravity. You can say I don't believe gravity, but don't play that kind of bullshit game with me. Yeah, it aggravates me.
I got a big shout out to M Stone. M Stone jumped into the PayPal with like $5. Thanks for the entertainment. Have a good weekend. M Stone, thank you very much for your support, brother, for hitting me up. Yeah, I mean, it's aggravating. I laugh because at least No Thanks can, at least he doesn't have to be as rude for interrupting and talking over and over talking. So that's good. I mean, he throw this smarmy comments and the colorful commentary in between, which is very annoying, but I can kind of see past that.
I've got to say though, it was pretty decent. No, he maybe talked over people. I did as well, but he doesn't scream and shout at people. Well, not when I've been here. I've only been here for the last 30 minutes. And he didn't swear at people like Brian does. He didn't get erratic and mad like Brian did. He kept his calm, and we've got to give him a bit of kudos for that.
Oh, and before we get too far off the topic, I guess if we're going to still talk about him while he's not here, the statement of the Earth is used as flat and not rotating. All commercial airliners will disagree vehemently. Flight plans are done on great circles, which only works on a spherical Earth. And the equipment within an aircraft can measure the Earth's rotation at the gate. So, there goes that idea.
Do you know what else will dispute his his claim that the Earth is flat and not rotating? Weather. The weather disputes, a flat, non-moving Earth. The weather in the south or the south of the globe and the north of the globe acts differently because it is in the south and the north of the globe and not a flat Earth that's not moving.
Who was it that was asking for the calculations that DP would be able to provide? Was that B-Ball Earth is Life? No, Chaiki. I would like to remind you, whoever it was that was asking for DP's calculations, that DP did say that a sphere doesn't have a surface. And he also said that something that is wider than it is tall must be a rectangle. And then said that I was the one that said that. So that's fun. So I don't think he's going to be able to come up with any calculations. I don't think it's going to work.
I'm going to leave this video playing in the background on a loop, so it might play 2 or 3 times. Really cool. Shout out to Mission Control and shout out to Hold On for sharing this link. Find that was playing on the YouTube chat box. There's a link out there. And there's a link in here in the Discord also. That'll be in the background. You guys can talk while I come back.
All right. This is a pretty nice looking observation here too.
I didn't like the fact that he didn't say it very explicitly, but he seemed to continually imply that all the white ones, like the pictures that we have and seeing drop from a great distance, were actually quote unquote crafted, like they were made on purpose, that the ones who were making those photos were looking for the exact conditions that could confirm the globe Earth, the measurement for globe Earth.
It made it even weirder because he said that there would be less drop than an Earth of the purported size, or published size, I guess I should say, for closer, and that there would be too much drop for long-range observations. And I'd be curious if there were any observations he could provide where that happens. I've never seen that.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, I mean, some of my family, they sailed to Russia during the Second World War, ships, and they talked, and some of my family were medicine seamen for generations, grandfather, great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather, and my father, all medicine seamen. And they talked to me about what they seen at sea. And they obviously knew that, if you climb the mast, you can see farther than if you're on the deck. And they knew just by their observation that the Earth is curved. Water is not flat. So I don't know whether any of these people, these flat earthers, have got any people in their family who've been at sea or anything and have talked to them about it, but it's blatantly obvious if you're at sea that the Earth is curved.
because I was playing around.
Did that kill the conversation again? I'm sorry, Jose. I'm really sorry. I killed the conversation. I didn't mean to do that, right? I'm just saying,
That's fine.
I'm just saying, like, I'll get members of my family going back generations, who've all been at sea, and they all talked about weird things, sounds, probably whales and all that, But they all had, like, weird stories about beasts of the deep and all that, and they all had stories that, yeah, the earth is cut, you can't see over the horizon. They all knew that the water was curved. You know what I mean? They all, because it's hard to explain this, but they all knew they were taking measurements on land and stars and all that, and the sun during the day, in order to navigate around the globe. Nobody thought the Earth was flat for the last 200 years, at least. Maybe longer, I would think longer. Nobody thought if you're sailing an ocean to get from one landmass to another, nobody thought that the Earth was flat. Nobody on the ocean thought that.
Yeah, I had a conversation on another server not too long ago. I think it was today. The days blend together with all these arguments from incredulity or arguments from ignorance. The argument was that flat earthers have been talking about refraction since the beginning of the flat earth movement on YouTube, and that we came up with refraction as an excuse later, which is odd because then I turned around and gave him 18th century sources talking about surveying and refraction. I definitely reject his version of reality because I can definitely come up with sources that say he's completely full of it.
I can definitely say that people have known about refraction and, changes in atmospheric aberrations and stuff for probably 1,000 years, sailing in the oceans, right? You see lots of people from the 14th and the 15th century talking about something. Even, the people who sailed to America, you know what I mean? Magellan and what do you call them? Columbus. They all talked about aberrations of ocean voyages where they couldn't see that their spyglass couldn't tell them, and then they would see a thing and it wasn't there where they sailed to. Stuff like this is people have been reporting and writing about this in their diaries for about 1,000 goddamn years. So we know that, longer even, but we know about to the 14th and 12th century and stuff like that. And people have been reporting this aberration and what they saw, and then how long it took them to actually come across that land that they thought was only on the horizon and stuff like that. People have been talking about it. We know that this is a thing. Flat earthers trying to say it's not a thing and they made it up. We defeated them in the 1800s and now they're back again and they're getting defeated again with the same old tropes that they wadded out in the 1800s and were denied. No, your idea is denied, and now we're saying your idea is denied, with your science. We've been doing this for, over 300 years. We've been doing this with these flat earthers. So, yeah, they don't faze me.
Hello, I'm Neo. Is anybody else new here?
C4's here.
C4 is new, and Sean Smith is new too.
Came with a bang.
Yeah, man. Bro, what the hell is going on, bro? Should we get out of here? Let's get out of here. Well, it's kind of early. It's actually 3 hours. Solid, the show, I think. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, about 3 hours in the show. Perfect timing. Finished my cooking and taking care of the dogs. I've been on and off for the past an hour or so.
The best way to do a show is if you're not having to be here the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. That's cool. I really appreciate it. And I was listening on the phone. As I say, if something happened that I hear in the phone, like, oh no, shit broke loose. When I reach the computer, it's already been past 30 seconds or 40 seconds, so I wouldn't make it on time. But it's all good. It was interesting.
Yeah,
Shout
I
out to
thought
everybody. Shout out to everybody for supporting today. PayPal and Super Chat. I had some of those today. I really appreciate everybody. Shout out to all of you that came into the Discord server to talk to us. Big stuff, good stuff. Shout out to Hold On for sharing the link. Mission Control is criminally undersubscribed, so please subscribe. The link is in the Discord and out there in the chat box for the video I was playing on the big vessel ship. Thank you guys. Let's do a round of final thoughts. Thank you, Blue. C4, what's up, man? Final thoughts. You want to tell us something? Shout out to C4, man. Hopefully everything is getting back to control, and I haven't spoken with you. Shame on me. I'll change that. Chaik, final thoughts.
Yeah, well, it seems that you can't talk to fluffs anymore because all they do now, or those that are still left, is plain denial. They don't even try to think or take a look at things. That's what I think. Good show, thank you.
Thank you, Chaik. I appreciate it. Doofus Manfred, we had a fun one today. Final thoughts.
Yeah, and to add on to what Chaiki was saying just a second ago, it seems a lot of them are steadfast in their particular favorite watering holes, the flat earthers, that is. And they don't really come out much anymore. There are only a few that do. And I find that very interesting. Plus, not having a firm, logical standing for your position is kind of a detriment to having these kind of conversations. It could be anything. It could be whatever effect that I say you haven't accounted for, but I just made up off the top of my head. That's not really how we do things, how we figure out how things are. But that's flat Earth in a nutshell. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Louis is new. Devil's Advocate is new. So many new people here. Louis, final thoughts.
Yeah, I'm new. Well, I think I could play a broken record, and I would have much more hope that it would simply stop on doing its loop than hear anything new from the flat earther.
Woo! Thank you, man. Sean Smith, are you new? Uh-oh. There's no sound there, bro. Bro. Thank you, Sean. You tried. And Terz, final thoughts.
Yeah, my final thoughts. I think the flat earthers are going to be quiet for a while, but once we send another spaceship to the moon and land a new man on the moon in the next sort of like 2 to 3 years, and maybe even send men to Mars in the next 10, I'm sure that's going to give a huge resurgence to the flat earthers to start denying that we went to the moon or Mars. You know what I mean? They're going to come back with, no, it's all CGI and it's all fake and it was all done in the desert in Arizona. It's more that, they'll come back. They'll always keep coming back.
Thank you very much, Terz. Shout out to everybody. Thank you one more time. And shout out to Squeaky Earth. Take care, everybody. Boom!
I love that screech.
Sean Smith got some final thoughts into the chat.
Final thoughts by Sean. Please like and subscribe. Support Jose. There's a PayPal link. Super chat. There's a super sticker when you're watching the show. If you don't want to hit me on PayPal when you're watching the show recorded, there's a super thanks button with a little heart and a cross. hit me up. Super chat will be shown in the comment section. Leave us a comment in the comment section. Like, subscribe, share the show. Jose JG out. Boom! One more time.